Chapter 492. Dao Yan's death was beyond Moksha Sovereign's expectation. He had never thought that one of the 10 great devil generals would fail to kill a harmonious spirit junior. Moksha Sovereign did not think that the person who killed Dao Yan would be Ning Fan. In his opinion, Dao Yan's means were not weak. The person who could kill Dao Yan in the Rain World must at least be a Void Pierce stage cultivator. As for the Void Pierce stage cultivators of the Rain World, each and every one of them would be more or less loyal to the Rain Palace. The Rain World was unique. It was ruled by only one sovereign and one palace. Unless one broke through to the Void Fragmentation realm, no one would be able to disregard the Rain Sovereign's orders. Was it the Rain Emperor's doing? The last time I descended upon the Rain World, I had already offended the Rain Sovereign. So, he secretly sent someone to eliminate Dao Yan to show off his might to me? Humph. Yun Zongchuan, how dare you kill my men? Yun Zongxian was the name of the current Rain Emperor. Moksha Sovereign was almost certain that the one who dared to kill Dao Yan in the Rain World must be the Rain Palace. It was not that he did not suspect Ning Fan. It was just that Moksha Sovereign did not believe that a harmonious spirit realm junior could attain the Void Inquiry stage in just 40 years and possess the strength to kill Dao Yan. This was an extremely absurd thing. According to Moksha Sovereign's deduction, 40 years was not even enough for Ning Fan to eliminate his heart devil and form his gold core. It can't be that ant. It must be the Rain Palace. Yun Zongchuan, I will remember this debt. Moksha Sovereign kept the sense beads and closed his eyes once again. He sat silently in the main hall, concealing his anger without leaving a trace. If Moksha Sovereign finds out that Ning Fan was the one who killed Dao Yan, he would probably send one or two of his subordinates to continue pursuing Ning Fan. Unfortunately, he never thought that Ning Fan had such an outstanding cultivation base. Since he had already vented his anger on the Rain Palace, it was naturally impossible for him to recklessly send his subordinates into the Rain World. How to get there? If one of them went, the Rain Emperor would assassinate one of them. Was he supposed to send the subordinates that he had painstakingly cultivated to the Rain Realm to die? However, the uneasiness in the depths of Moksha Sovereign's heart grew stronger and stronger. That ant, is he really a harmonious spirit? Moksha Sovereign suddenly opened his eyes, unable to vent the uneasiness in his heart. After a long time, he sneered and closed his eyes. This emperor doesn't believe it. What Ning Fan did not know was that his action of killing Dao Yan had already caused Moksha Sovereign to vent his anger on the Rain Palace, and he no longer dared to send anyone into the Rain World recklessly. He returned to the silver boat and instructed Su Yan to continue sailing towards Si Kong Demon Island. He returned to the cabin and entered the Yuanyao world. He started to adjust his energy and organize his gains from the two battles. The first reward was killing one of Moksha Sovereign's capable subordinates. To Ning Fan, this had a special meaning. The reason why he had killed Dao Yan was not only out of hatred, but also after some consideration. If he didn't kill Dao Yan, there was no way he would let him go either. At the very most, he would capture Dao Yan's primordial spirit and imprison it in his storage pouch. Since Dao Yan had yet to return after so long, Moksha Sovereign must have also found out that Dao Yan had gone missing. Instead, he might send more people to investigate Dao Yan's whereabouts or assassinate him. If Dao Yan dies, Moksha Sovereign might still go after Ning Fan. However, he might also become suspicious and fearful of Dao Yan and not dare to send his subordinates into the Rain World recklessly. In reality, there was not much difference between the two outcomes. To Ning Fan, it was impossible for him to avoid confronting Moksha Sovereign since the day he became his enemy. The way to resolve the enmity between him and Moksha Sovereign wasn't to run away, but to become stronger. Strong enough to kill Moksha Sovereign once and for all. Killing Dao Yan was a wake-up call to Ning Fan. He could not be satisfied with the current situation. He must improve his cultivation base and obtain the power to fight against Moksha Sovereign. My magic power is still at the half-step void refinement realm. If I have enough pills to provide me with magic power, I am confident that I can directly advance to the void inquiry stage after a long period of seclusion. After all, I had passed the void inquiry stage hurdle by luck when I was still in the Star Palace. Now, what I lack to break through to the void inquiry stage is not the comprehension of the void but magic power. As for my ancient devil cultivation base, the reason why I could smoothly advance to the mid-reckless devil realm in one go is also because I had broken through the void inquiry stage hurdle that day. Unfortunately, be it breaking through to the void pure stage in magic power or breaking through to the late reckless devil realm in my ancient devil cultivation base, none of them are easy for me. In the end, if I want to break through to the late void refinement realm or the late reckless devil realm, I need to at least comprehend the void to the void pure stage. However, this is a little difficult. The pills that can improve the cultivation base of the void inquiry stage and void pure stage are all mid-grade 6th revolution and above. Even if I break through to the 6th revolution pill master, I will only be a low-grade 6th revolution pill master. It is impossible for me to concoct a mid-grade 6th revolution pill master in a short period of time. As for the Tao fruit, in order to raise the cultivation base of the void inquiry stage and void pure stage, one must consume at least a void refinement realm Tao fruit. The number of void refinement realm experts in the Rain world can be counted on one's fingers. Even if I kill all of them, I will only obtain 1 or 2 void refinement realm Tao fruits at most. It's impossible to raise your cultivation with Tao fruits. The only thing I can rely on is the method of plucking human cauldrons. After all, plucking a void refinement realm human cauldron was much easier than killing 100 void refinement realm cultivators to obtain a void refinement realm Tao fruit. As for the origin of the furnace. In the Yuanyao world, Ning Fan sat cross-legged on the 4th floor of the dark golden pagoda. With a flick of his cauldron ring, he took out an unconscious red-haired lady and casually threw her on the cold ground beside him. Coincidentally, he managed to capture a void refinement realm cauldron. This was the second biggest gain of the day. Other than the red-haired lady herself, Ning Fan had also learned another important information from the conversation between the 2 Ling Nan elders. Back then, in the broken world that Ling Nan and Ling Nan had entered, a large number of experts resided, and these experts were all female cultivators. Each of these women was full of primordial yin energy. Among them, there was no lack of divine transformation realm and void refinement realm cultivators. What was more frightening was that there was actually at least one void fragmentation realm female cultivator among them. Every single one of these women possessed an extremely heavy killing intent, and they were like mad devils that killed indiscriminately. None of them were good people. There is a small kiliacosm broken world filled with blood burial grass. There are many female cultivators who cultivate the slaughter Tao, and they can all be captured as cauldrons. However, I don't know how many experts there are, whether it's dangerous to enter the broken world, how to enter the broken world, and what is the background of these women. If I don't figure out these things, it's impossible for me to go to that place to catch the cauldron. Ning Fan glanced at the red-haired lady from the corner of his eyes. If he wants to know everything, it would be faster to interrogate this lady. With a flick of his sleeve, a gust of wind swept the unconscious woman into his arms. He pointed his finger at the center of the woman's eyebrows, and the woman immediately let out a groan and woke up. However, as soon as she woke up and saw that she was lying in Ning Fan's arms, her eyes immediately flashed with killing intent. She opened her mouth and spat out a blood-red thunderbolt at Ning Fan's head, intending to destroy his sea of consciousness. "I'm going to kill you." The lady's tone was cold and emotionless. Ning Fan gently tilted his head and dodged the blood-red thunderbolt. Once again, he pointed his finger at the lady's breasts and channeled the power of his yin plucking finger into her body, causing her body to go limp and lose all of her magic power. However, she did not fall unconscious. Ning Fan was never a soft-hearted person. In other words, fate did not give him the chance to be soft-hearted. He was gentle to many women he liked, but it did not mean that he would be soft-hearted to his enemies. This red-haired lady wanted to kill Ning Fan without any reason. As long as Ning Fan's techniques were weak, he would die in her hands. Ning Fan had a clear conscience and it was impossible for him to be polite to her. "Who are you and where did you come from? If you have the guts, just kill me. Why do you need to talk so much? The palace lord will naturally avenge me. Don't even think about getting information from me. Even if you search my soul and memory, you definitely won't be able to pry into the memories in my sea of consciousness because my sea of consciousness has turned into the form of killing chi." The lady was rather strong-willed. She was stronger than many men. She stared at Ning Fan coldly as if she was indifferent to life and death. She did not even blink her eyes. However, this lady did not know that even though she did not answer Ning Fan's question directly, Ning Fan had already read her mind using the mind-reading technique. This lady's name was rather strange. In the place where she lived, she was called number 431. She actually used the serial number as her name. The small kiliacosm that she lived in was called the Blood Slave Garden. It was a garden where an ancient cultivator lived millions of years ago. Currently, there was a total of 1 void fragmentation realm, 500 void refinement realm cultivators and tens of thousands of divine transformation realm cultivators in the broken world. All of them were women. There were no men nor any nascent soul realm or gold core realm cultivators. When Ning Fan received this information, he frowned slightly. After just asking the red-haired lady the first question, the doubts in his heart did not decrease but increased instead. Whether it was the lady's serial number or the name of the broken world garden, all of them made Ning Fan doubtful. What puzzled Ning Fan the most was that there were no cultivators below the divine transformation realm in this blood slave garden, let alone male cultivators. This blood slave garden had been abandoned for at least hundreds of thousands of years. The owner of this world had already passed away a long time ago. The female cultivators who lived in this world today were all living beings that were born in the later generations. Generally speaking, in order to continue life, a male and a female would have to mate with each other no matter what. However, there were no men in this world. Why could it continue living for millions of years? Could it be that all the men in this world had died recently? However, it did not seem like it. Generally speaking, other than a few special forbidden areas, there would be more low-level cultivators than high-level cultivators in any place. The greater the base number of low-level cultivators, the more high-level cultivators would be produced. There were no gold core realm or nascent soul realm cultivators in the blood slave garden, but there were divine transformation realm, void refinement realm and even void fragmentation realm cultivators. This was just too abnormal. Could it be that all the low-level cultivators in this broken world had died in recent years? This seemed rather unlikely. Why are you called number 431? This is my name since I was born. It's none of your business. The lady was very stubborn. Who was the original owner of the blood slave garden? You don't deserve to know. The lady was still as stubborn as before. Why are there no male cultivators or low-level cultivators in the blood slave garden? Humph. The lady directly ignored Ning Fan. Who is the palace lord that you mentioned just now? Could it be the void fragmentation realm female cultivator in the blood slave garden? Pa. Do you think the palace lord is someone you can ask questions about? When she answered the last question, the lady directly spat a mouthful of saliva at Ning Fan. Of course, Ning Fan easily dodged it and did not mind it at all. Ning Fan did not care about the lady's vengeful actions. His expression was solemn. He had found out some incredible information from the lady's mind. Why was the broken world called the blood slave garden? Why were there no male cultivators or low-level cultivators in it? Why was it filled with blood burial grass? Ning Fan knew all of them. He carefully sized up the lady in his arms. Originally, he already felt that this lady's killing intent was a little too heavy. Now, he finally knew the reason. So you are, a flower devil? Ning Fan said with a sharp gaze. What? How did you know? The lady immediately revealed a shocked expression. The so-called flower devil was a devil creature that was cultivated from special flowers and plants using special methods. Just like cultivating pill devils, there were also powerful cultivators in ancient times who cultivated special devil creatures for special purposes. This red-haired lady whose name was number 431 was the flower devil that was successfully formed from a blood burial grass in the blood slave garden. Of course, it was extremely difficult for a flower devil to take form. It was not as easy as a pill devil. That broken world called the blood slave garden must have a heaven-shaking grand formation that could accelerate the growth of the blood burial grass into a flower devil. The flower devils that the grand formation needed were at least at the divine transformation realm. Therefore, it skipped the vein opening, harmonious spirit, gold core and nascent soul realms to directly produce flower devils that were above the divine transformation realm. The blood burial grass was of the yin attribute. The grand formation was also set to stimulate the yin attribute. Therefore, the flower devils that were produced were only female. The blood burial grass was a grass of slaughter. Therefore, the female cultivators that were born from it were filled with killing intent. Their killing intent was intense and they were like crazy devils. In the memories of the ancient Chaos Great Emperor, the cultivation of devil creatures was mentioned. It also mentioned a few words about flower devils. It mentioned that the cultivation of any devil creature must be done step by step from the vein opening realm. Otherwise, it would leave a huge flaw in the devil creature. For example, the little pill devil Ming Ke was raised from a pill step by a true immortal. Without skipping the steps, she directly attained a profound cultivation base. As for these flower devils, they already possessed a divine transformation realm cultivation base as soon as they were born. Their flaws were huge. Ning Fan did not answer the red-haired lady's question. Instead, he directly held her wrist and spread out his spirit sense to enter her body. After doing so, he immediately discovered that this red-haired lady's lifespan was extremely short. An ordinary divine transformation realm cultivator could live for 4,000 to 5,000 years while a void refinement realm cultivator could live for more than 10,000 years. However, she could only live for 500 years. Her lifespan was only 1/20th of an ordinary cultivator's. Besides, after leaving the blood slave garden, the red-haired lady aged faster and her lifespan decreased exponentially. This was also one of the drawbacks of a flower devil being produced at a faster speed. There was only one way to save this flower devil, and that was to use a special method to destroy her cultivation base so that she could cultivate again. Of course, there were many ways to destroy her cultivation base. One of them was to pluck her. Ning Fan's gaze towards the red-haired lady was devoid of pity. He was just pondering. The information he obtained from the lady's mind was far more than that. As he expected, the so-called palace lord was the only female cultivator in the blood slave garden. Just like the red-haired lady, she was also a flower devil that was produced by the blood burial grass. However, what was beyond Ning Fan's expectation was that the former master of the blood slave garden had a terrifying background. Fu Linglong, an elder of the Slaughter Palace 6. 4 million years ago, Ning Fan had never expected that this broken world would actually be related to the famous Slaughter Palace. The so-called Slaughter Palace was a force of the four heavens, but it was not one of the four major forces. The Lost World Palace of the Northern Heaven, the Godly Void Pavilion of the Eastern Heaven, the Purple Prefecture Academy of the Southern Heaven and the Kunlun Jade Pool of the Western Heaven did not include the Slaughter Palace. The Slaughter Palace was extremely unique. It only recruited one disciple every 1,000 years. However, each of its disciples would certainly become a peerless assassin who could run amok in the four heavens after being nurtured by the Slaughter Palace. They could kill immortals like ants. As for the Palace Lord of the Slaughter Palace, his cultivation base was even more unfathomable. As an elder of the Slaughter Palace, Fu Linglong's identity was even more special. The origin of this blood slave garden could not be said to be insignificant. Chapter 493. The slaughter hall was not to be trifled with. They were not on the same level as Moksha Sovereign and White Devil sect. Luckily, Fu Linglong had already passed away a long time ago. The blood slave garden had also lost its master. Even if Ning Fan invades the blood slave garden and captures all the female cultivators to be his human cauldrons, he should not offend the slaughter palace. Ning Fan did not need to ask what kind of special purpose Fu Linglong had in raising these flower devils. To Ning Fan, each of the flower devils was an incomparably high-quality human cauldron. The problem was that the world passage leading to the blood slave garden had already been destroyed by the two elders of Ling Nan. Even the remains of the ancient cultivators were destroyed during the battle. Ning Fan did not know how to enter the blood slave garden. Even the red-haired woman was at a loss. She did not know how to return to the blood slave garden. Moreover, with his current strength, he was not confident that he could capture a void fragmentation realm cauldron. Even an absolute void realm cauldron would be a little tricky. It seems like even if I want to go to the blood slave garden to capture human cauldrons, I'll have to wait until my cultivation base improves before going there. Currently, I can't capture void fragmentation realm flower devils at all. If I go there rashly, I might be attacked by those flower devils and be killed in the blood slave garden. The most important thing right now is to attend to the matter at hand and head to Sikong Demon Island to help Bright Sparrow obtain the inheritance. Just as Ning Fan was deep in thought, the red-haired lady suddenly trembled in his arms. Her beautiful face turned pale as if she was enduring some kind of extreme pain. Ah! The woman screamed again and again. Her condition was extremely abnormal. Ning Fan, of course, would not have any tender feelings for the fairer sex. He just acted like an onlooker and coldly observed the abnormal condition of the lady's body. The reason why this woman was in so much pain was because she had been away from the blood slave garden for too long. Her lifespan had increased exponentially, and she was on the verge of death. If these flower devils lived in the blood slave garden, they would only have 1/20th of the lifespan of an ordinary cultivator. If he ran out of the blood slave garden and lost the protection of the formation, his lifespan would decrease by several thousand times, and he would soon die of old age. This was the heavenly Tao. If someone wanted to take a shortcut to obtain power beyond their realm, they would have to pay the price. The only way to break it was to disperse one's cultivation. The red-haired woman was in so much pain that her pupils dilated. There was no sense of beauty, only terror. Ning Fan, on the other hand, did not mind it at all. He began to undress each other. What? What are you going to do to me? The woman was terrified. Ever since she became a flower devil, she had never come into contact with a man, let alone been stripped naked by a man. I'm going to pluck you. Ning Fan did not say anything else and directly pressed down on her. How dare you? The woman was enraged, but she was powerless to resist. With a tearing sound, the red-haired woman felt her body being pierced. Then, she felt the sensitive parts of her body being caressed and rubbed by Ning Fan. Gradually, she felt less painful and her lower body began to become slippery. Traces of her cultivation base were constantly flowing into Ning Fan's body through the point where they were connected. She was enraged as she realized that Ning Fan was really plucking her. However, at the next moment, she realized that as her cultivation base fell bit by bit, the pain of losing her lifespan was also decreasing bit by bit. Even though the red-haired lady was brimming with killing chi, she also realized that Ning Fan's action of plucking her could, from another perspective, completely eliminate the hidden danger of her lifespan and save her life. She was originally a blood burial grass that had turned into a devil, so she didn't have much of a concept of chastity. She knew that if she did not get plucked by Ning Fan, she would certainly not be able to live long after leaving the blood slave garden. When she thought about how she could at least survive if she was plucked by Ning Fan, she no longer struggled. Instead, she began to cater to Ning Fan's actions. Her hostility towards Ning Fan did not decrease. However, she also knew what was good and bad for him. Thus, she no longer shouted at him to kill him. 2 hours later, the red-haired lady's cultivation base fell to the vein-opening realm after being plucked. Her cultivation base was almost completely wasted. Unable to bear the weakness of losing her cultivation base, she fell into a coma. However, the hidden danger of losing her lifespan was completely eradicated. As long as she starts to cultivate again from the vein-opening realm, she would no longer have any problems. As for Ning Fan's magic power, it had also improved tremendously after plucking the red-haired lady. His magic power had reached 700,000 units, which was an increase of nearly 50,000 units. It was almost equivalent to the medicinal effect of a void refinement realm Dao fruit. Sure enough, plucking cauldrons is much easier than searching for Dao fruits. After Ning Fan tidied himself up, he put on his clothes and glanced at the unconscious red-haired lady. Since this lady wanted to kill him, he would pluck her with a clear conscience. As for the process of plucking her and saving her life, it could be considered as giving her an advantage for the time being. He shook his cauldron ring and kept the naked lady into it. Then, he spoke to a certain space within the ring. Bing Ling and Yu Ling, keep a good eye on this lady. Even though she is just at the vein-opening realm, she will be of great use in the future. Yes. Bing Ling and Yu Ling, who were diligently cultivating inside the cauldron ring, immediately answered respectfully. Ning Fan sat down cross-legged on the ground again. With the help of plucking, the essence qi that he had consumed in the 2 consecutive battles was fully replenished. Moreover, he also noticed that after plucking the red-haired lady, his sword sense underwent a slight change. A small part of his sword sense turned blood-red. That blood-red color was the result of being tainted with killing intent. After Ning Fan inspected his body, he found that the killing intent did not have any side effects. Instead, it increased the power of his sword sense. Thus, he did not pursue the matter further. He did not immediately leave the Yuanya world. Instead, he extinguished the green lamps in the dark golden pagoda. In the darkness, he seemed to have fallen into a battle of Dao heart. When he was young, he carried a blood feud. However, he was weak. Thus, he could only rely on the yin-yang transformation to pluck women and walk on the path of evil. Now that his cultivation base had reached this stage, be it his pill refinement mastery or his cultivation base, it was already sufficient for him to cultivate normally. There was no need for him to take the risk of being condemned by the world and become a devil lord of dual cultivation. However, once he steps onto the path of evil, how could he turn back so easily? 2 paths seemed to appear in his mind. One of them was black while the other was white. The white path led to the boundless righteous path while the black path led to the thorny path of evil. He sighed softly and shattered the righteous path and the evil path, merging the black and white paths into one. Then, he opened his eyes again. I am neither righteous nor evil. However, if it's to protect them, I can be righteous or evil. Qi Ning Fan suddenly rose to his feet and turned into a ray of light, flying out of the pagoda and the Yuanya world. After returning to the silver boat, the first thing Ning Fan did was to use the power of his memory intent realm to selectively erase the memories of all the divine transformation realm cultivators for one day. Ning Fan also erased the memories of Old Man Chu. Ordinary methods of searching one's soul and erasing memories would cause great damage to a cultivator's sea of consciousness. However, Ning Fan could use his memory intent realm to reduce the damage. All the divine transformation realm cultivators who had their memories erased fell into a short coma. When they woke up, they felt extreme pain in a certain part of their bodies. However, they could not remember anything at all. Of course, what hurt them was not their anus but their sea of consciousness. Weren't we piloting the silver boat? Why did we fall into a coma? One of the divine transformation realm slaves asked. Something seemed to have happened but I can't remember it. Another divine transformation realm slave said with a strange tone. Just like that, their memories of one day were erased by Ning Fan. They no longer remembered that Ning Fan captured the female cultivator and killed the devil general. Ning Fan nodded his head in satisfaction. Erasing everyone's memories was just for the sake of safety. He could not let the world know that he killed Dao Yan for the time being. Holding a sovereign execution token in his hand, Ning Fan's eyes were like cold lightning. Then, he kept the token. He had already used this token once and it was no longer useful. Its only purpose was to remind Ning Fan that he must not slack off. There was still a great enemy waiting for him to fight. Why did you offend such a powerful figure? Su Yan's face was filled with worry. Moksha Sovereign, the sovereign execution token, the 10 great devil generals. She had extraordinary experience. She understood the significance of Moksha Sovereign using the sovereign execution token to kill Ning Fan. Moksha Sovereign regarded Ning Fan as a hidden danger. Besides, from what that devil general Dao Yan said, Su Yan could speculate. The reason why Dao Yan chased after Ning Fan with Ning Fan's harmonious spirit realm chi must be because Ning Fan was just at the harmonious spirit realm when he offended Moksha Sovereign. Su Yan found it hard to imagine how a harmonious spirit realm young man would have the courage to disobey a void fragmentation realm sovereign expert and even become the target of this sovereign expert. She had also heard that Moksha Sovereign forcefully descended upon the Rain world 40 years ago. However, he managed to escape unscathed, causing the Rain world to lose a lot of face. Thinking about it carefully, could it be that Ning Fan had offended Moksha Sovereign when he descended upon the Rain world that time? Su Yan felt a little depressed for a moment. She realized that her understanding of Ning Fan was really very one-sided. She could vaguely guess that the reason why Ning Fan was so outstanding was because of the tremendous pressure he faced. Even though my cultivation base is just at the void inquiry stage and I'm just an ant in the eyes of a void fragmentation realm expert, I will help you. No matter what, I will never go back on my word. Su Yan made a promise to Ning Fan as if she was making an oath. That day, Ning Fan was not afraid of millions of devil spirits when he saved her from the mist-horn broken world. Today, Su Yan was also willing to accompany Ning Fan to fight against that Moksha Sovereign. Brother Biscuit, Bright Sparrow will also help you. Bright Sparrow raised her pink fist with an angry expression on her face. It's too hateful. It's simply intolerable. There's actually someone who wants to kill Brother Biscuit. So what if that person is a void fragmentation realm sovereign expert? So what? So what, it seems like I can't defeat him. Little Ming Ke realized a very serious problem. Her cultivation base was too low. She had just broken through to the mid-divine transformation realm. She couldn't even help Ning Fan with a small matter. Even if I can't defeat that void fragmentation realm sovereign expert, Grandpa Tree can certainly defeat him. Ming Ke finally became spirited. She thought of Grandpa Tree who had the power of the Dark Sparrow's grave. That's right. Even if she can't defeat Moksha Sovereign, there's still Ming Luo Treant who can help her. Ming Luo Treant is a void fragmentation realm expert. He should be able to help her, right? Thank you. Ning Fan smiled at the two girls. His heart felt a little warm. Even though the two girls knew that Ning Fan had offended Moksha Sovereign, their expressions were still as if they were willing to sacrifice themselves for him. Even someone as cold as Ning Fan would feel touched by their actions. Besides, after Ming Ke mentioned it, Ning Fan finally remembered that the Ming Luo Treant in the Dark Sparrow's grave could indeed be recruited as a helper to fight against Moksha Sovereign together. After all, the Treant was a void fragmentation realm old monster. It would certainly be of great use during the Battle of 100 Years. Moreover, the Treant already had a good impression of Ning Fan. In addition to the relationship between Ning Fan and Little Ming Ke, it would not be difficult for him to recruit the Treant as a helper. It's time to look for some void fragmentation realm experts to help me. I can't possibly fight against Moksha Sovereign's countless subordinates alone. Void Refinement Realm Devil Generals like Dao Yan are not the only subordinates of Moksha Sovereign. Since he could be conferred the title of Sovereign, his status should be on the same level as the Reign Sovereign. I'm afraid there will be many Void Fragmentation Realm experts among his subordinates. If I want to fight against Moksha Sovereign, I need to find enough Void Fragmentation Realm experts to help me. Brother Biscuit, Ming Ke wants to eat your medicine baby. Ming Ke suddenly begged him with a soft voice. What medicine baby? Ning Fan was stunned. It's the 100,000 years old medicine baby that the two old men gave you. Ming Ke still did not forget to covet 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. I'm sorry. I need these spiritual herbs to save someone. Otherwise, I would definitely give them to you. Ning Fan said apologetically. Oh. Then I won't eat them. Ming Ke was a little upset. However, she swallowed her saliva obediently and no longer mentioned the 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. Brother Biscuit needed those medicinal herbs. Naturally, she would not eat them secretly. Ning Fan needed 100,000 years old spiritual herbs for Luo Yu to consume. He still had 4 pieces of dark lightning bamboo leaves which required 20 tufts of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs to harmonize them. Even with the addition of these 5 tufts, he was still lacking a lot. He quietly entered the profound Yin world and entered the thatched cottage. Ning Fan used 5 tufts of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs to harmonize a piece of dark lightning bamboo leaf and fed it to Luo Yu. After consuming this piece of bamboo leaf, Luo Yu was even closer to breaking through to the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. However, she was still lacking a little. Ning Fan shook his head helplessly. If he wants her to wake up again, he would need to find more 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. If Luo Yu wakes up, Ning Fan would have the first void fragmentation realm expert to protect him. Moreover, this void fragmentation realm expert was at the second heavenly layer. Even though 100,000 years old spiritual herbs were precious, if Ning Fan attains the 6th revolution pill refinement realm and calls for help, there would probably be many old monsters who would come to him with spiritual herbs. After traveling for another 6 to 7 days, the silver boat finally approached Si Kong Demon Island. During these 7 days, Ning Fan began to repair his immemorial divine weapons. He added spirit seals where he needed them. His fire wings had also been imbued with a lot of speed spirit seals, which slightly increased his speed. To the current Ning Fan, going into seclusion to circulate one's spiritual chi had almost no effect on increasing his magic power. During his free time, he no longer concentrated on cultivating. Instead, he tidied up his cultivation methods and magic techniques and made some progress. Si Kong Demon Island was a floating island. It floated 1,000 zhang above the surface of the sea with great power. The surface of the island was shaped like an umbrella. There was also a gigantic stone pillar that connected the bottom of the island to the bottom of the ocean. Looking from afar, the Si Kong Demon Island looked like a gigantic Ganoderma. The spiritual chi of heaven and earth in the surroundings was not weak. Obviously, the spiritual veins of this place were quite good. Even when looking from afar, Ning Fan could still see a gigantic stone statue standing at the center of the island. It was a statue of a lady. Due to the passage of time, the statue had been severely weathered. Her facial features were no longer recognizable. However, judging from the statue's posture, she must be a peerless beauty compared to the lady herself. Under the statue, countless demon cultivators were kneeling and kowtowing piously while chanting an ancient and profound demon scripture. Perhaps it was an illusion, but when the silver boat arrived at the sky above Si Kong Demon Island, the eyes of the statue seemed to flicker. Ning Fan pondered for a moment. Then, he spread his spirit sense into the island, trying to infiltrate the statue to investigate. However, his spirit sense was blocked by an unknown force. He could not help but feel slightly surprised. The force that blocked his spirit sense was actually the power of Joss flames. After countless years of devout worship by the cultivators of the demon island, the statue had accumulated quite a lot of Joss flames. The Joss flames were the best nourishment for improving one's cultivation base. However, other than the statue itself, no one could devour the Joss flames' power. Ning Fan's mind raced. Si Tsung's inheritance that Ming Ke accepted must be related to the Joss flames' power. However, there was a faint feeling of uneasiness in his heart. The gaze of the statue seemed to have flashed, which made him unable to get rid of it. The silver boat was being pulled by 12 silver-scaled horned dragons. Its momentum was tremendous. When the silver boat arrived above the demon island, all the demon cultivators on the island were shocked by its momentum. What? Someone is actually using 12 half-step void refinement realm flying dragons to pull the boat? Could it be that the one sitting on the boat is a void refinement realm old monster? A nascent soul realm old man exclaimed. He had never seen a void refinement realm old monster in his entire life. I've seen this silver boat before. It's the silver boat of the former clan leader of the Misthorn clan, Su Yen. A half-step divine transformation realm cultivator who was rather experienced said in astonishment. Obviously, he recognized the origin of the silver boat. What? Su Yen. After the half-step divine transformation realm cultivator said that, all the cultivators on the island were in a state of panic. They were not afraid of Su Yen. Instead, they were afraid of the person who came with her. Now, everyone in the Internal Sea knew that Ning Fan had flattened the Misthorn clan and taken away their clan leader, Su Yen. If Su Yen was here, it meant that Ning Fan, the great malefic star, was also here. And no. Could it be that revered Ming has come to our demon island to massacre the entire island? How are we going to resist him? It's a pity that the island lord and the great priest aren't in our hands. Otherwise, we might be able to fight against that revered Ming with the help of our master's Joss flames. Are you kidding me? That revered Ming can even suppress a colossal clan like the Misthorn clan. How can some lowly Joss flames be a match for him? It's over. We're dead for sure. No. Perhaps we will suffer a fate worse than death and be taken as demon slaves by that revered Ming. Each of the demon cultivators was panic-stricken and sighed. After realizing Ning Fan's arrival, the entire demon island was in a state of chaos. Su Yen giggled while Ning Fan's forehead was filled with black lines. His notoriety was getting bigger and bigger. Wherever he goes, there would be chaos. What's with all the noise? It's me who has returned. Ming Ke stomped her foot on the ground. A 5-marked immortal cloud rose beneath her feet and she flew down from the silver boat. At the same time, a trace of mysterious bloodline aura force spread out from her body, causing all the demon cultivators on the scene to tremble. Immediately, they quietened down. Even Ning Fan, a member of the Fu Li demon clan, felt his bloodline trembled slightly due to Ming Ke's aura force. Ning Fan's eyes flashed. He activated his Fu Li ancestral blood and suppressed the trembling of his bloodline. His heart was slightly surprised. The grade of his demon bloodline was definitely higher than Ming Ke's. However, Ming Ke's demon bloodline was a little special. It caused Ning Fan's demon bloodline to tremble due to his carelessness. Ancient demon, huh? Ning Fan himself had cultivated to the ancient devil realm. As soon as he made a judgment, he could already guess that little Ming Ke seemed to have cultivated to the ancient demon realm. When he thought about it carefully, he had an inexplicable good impression towards her when he first met her. Now that he thought about it, it was highly likely that Ning Fan's thin-winged demon bloodline was suppressed by Ming Ke's ancient demon bloodline at that time. That was why he was so concerned about her. Chapter 494. The ancient devils cultivated their bodies, the ancient demons cultivated their thoughts, and the ancient gods cultivated their techniques. Ning Fan could guess that the cultivation level of an ancient demon must be closely related to the strength of one's spirit sense. However, He did not know the specific name of the cultivation level. Each of the demon cultivators of Si Kong Island flew into the sky and looked at Ning Fan, who was standing at the bow of the silver boat, from afar. They did not even dare to breathe loudly in fear. He looked at Bright Sparrow with an abnormally respectful gaze. In particular, one of the dark-skinned youths looked at Bright Sparrow with reverence and respect from the bottom of his heart. The youth's bone age was less than 15 and his cultivation level was only at the 10th level of the vein-opening realm. However, because he was a winged demon, he had wings on his back and was able to fly. He came to welcome Bright Sparrow. However, he was flying at the back of the group. Obviously, it was due to his low status that he was not qualified to worship Bright Sparrow at such a close distance. Ning Fan's eyes scanned across the tens of thousands of demon cultivators on the demon island. When his eyes landed on the young man, he paid attention to him for a moment. This young man gave Ning Fan a strange feeling, but he couldn't tell what it was exactly. "Welcome back, Island Lord, High Priestess. May I know why Island Master is traveling with revered Ming and the others?" A few older experts of the demon island walked out from the crowd and asked Bright Sparrow cautiously. Ning Fan's notoriety was too great. They would not feel at ease if they did not find out his purpose for coming here. Revered Ming is this island lord's elder brother. He is a 5th Revolution biscuit refinement master. Out of respect for this island lord, he will definitely not harm a single blade of grass or tree of Si Kong Island. You don't have to be so afraid of him. Ming Kei's words were clearly heard by countless demon cultivators on the demon islands. As soon as they heard that Ning Fan was not an enemy but Ming Kei's elder brother, all the cultivators of the demon island felt relieved. All of them felt extremely relieved. So it turns out that revered Ming is the elder brother of the island lord, a friend and not an enemy. Hee, that's good, that's good. Yes, that's good. If Ning Fan is Si Kong Island's enemy and not a friend, he might just massacre everyone on the island. There certainly would not be a single survivor on the island. Who was Ning Fan? He was a ruthless being who could even suppress the devil clan of the Hidden Ocean. A mere Si Kong demon island naturally would not dare to provoke him. Each of the cultivators of the demon island heaved a sigh of relief. At the same time, the way they looked at Ning Fan became even more respectful. Seeing how respectful the cultivators of the demon island were to Ning Fan, Ming Kei nodded her head in satisfaction. Then, she turned to Old Man Chu behind her and instructed him. "Grandpa Chu, I'll give you 10 days to prepare everything needed for the ancestral sacrifice. 10 days later, this island master will use the ancestral sacrifice ceremony to officially accept the power of inheritance. There must be no mistakes." Her tone was young, but her words were quite dignified. 10 days. Yes. Old Man Chu didn't dare to be negligent and immediately ordered people to prepare the sacrificial items. When all the demon cultivators on the demon island heard that Bright Sparrow was about to receive Si Kong's inheritance, they immediately cheered and danced. Letting Bright Sparrow accept Si Kong's inheritance was the hope of all the demon cultivators on the demon island. In the past, Old Man Chu didn't dare to let Bright Sparrow accept the inheritance because her cultivation was still weak. He was worried that she wouldn't be able to withstand the power of the inheritance. However, now that Ming Kei had Ning Fan to protect her, the success rate of her receiving the inheritance was naturally extremely high. There were many safety issues that she did not need to worry about. Only the dark-skinned youth immediately stopped Ming Kei loudly when he heard that she wanted to accept Si Kong's inheritance. "No. You cannot accept the inheritance. How dare you? You are just a demon slave who is responsible for guarding the princess statue. How dare you be rude to the island master? Do you know what punishment you deserve?" As soon as they heard the arrogant words of the youth, many Gold Core Realm and Nascent Soul Realm experts immediately reprimanded him sternly. All right. A group of old men are bullying a young man. Don't you feel ashamed? All of you, disperse now. This island master wants some peace and quiet. As soon as Bright Sparrow gave her order, no one dared to reprimand the dark-skinned youth anymore. The group of cultivators on the demon island dispersed one after another. Even the group of divine transformation realm slaves that she had captured began to get busy, preparing for the ancestral sacrifice ceremony that would take place 10 days later. When the dark-skinned youth saw that he had escaped a calamity, he heaved a huge sigh of relief. He looked at Bright Sparrow gratefully and gritted his teeth, as if he wanted to tell her something. However, Bright Sparrow did not pay any attention to this youth at all. Her eyes were only focused on Ning Fan. Thus, she naturally ignored his expression. After dismissing all the old men, Bright Sparrow happily held Ning Fan's hand and led Su Yen to tour the Sea Kong Demon Island. "Brother Biscuit, can you accompany Bright Sparrow to play on the island for a few days?" Bright Sparrow pleaded with a soft voice. Her expression was naive and innocent. None of the dignified aura that she had when she gave orders to the demon cultivators in the past could be seen. In the past, Bright Sparrow was just a naive little pill devil. Now, after going through the trials of life and death in the endless sea, she already knew how to read people's minds. Moreover, after becoming the island lord of Sea Kong Demon Island, she accumulated the dignity of an island lord. At the same time, she also developed a two-faced personality. However, no matter what, she would always be the naive and lively pill devil in front of Ning Fan. She would never change. All right. Ning Fan naturally would not reject Bright Sparrow's request. However, before he left, he gave the dark-skinned youth a meaningful look and sent him some instructions using his secret voice transmission. When the youth heard Ning Fan's instructions, his expression immediately changed. He was a little scared, but he quickly nodded his head, not daring to reject Ning Fan's order. As for Ning Fan, he spent 2 consecutive days on the Sea Kong Demon Island with Bright Sparrow and Su Yen. During these 2 days, Ning Fan asked Bright Sparrow many questions related to the ancient demon realm without holding back. However, he did not get any satisfactory answers. There was nothing he could do about it. Bright Sparrow was completely clueless about things like ancient demons and ancient devils. She did not know any information at all. Even though there was a small amount of ancient demon power in her body, she had no idea where this power came from. However, Ming Ke told Ning Fan that she had once dreamt of a power similar to that of an ancient demon. The obtaining of this power seemed to be closely related to the ancestral sacrifice of each major demon race. One needed to obtain some kind of demon blood imprint through the ancestral sacrifice in order to truly obtain this power. However, Ning Fan did not know the details. As a matter of fact, even though Bright Sparrow's body had some ancient demon power, she did not have that special demon blood imprint. Thus, she could not be considered as a true ancient demon. The ancestral sacrifice was different from the ordinary sacrificial ritual of the demon race. It could only be carried out with the help of a special item left behind by an ancestral demon. This time, Bright Sparrow needed to carry out the ancestral sacrifice in order to obtain Si Tsong's inherited power. As for the item left behind by the ancestral demon, it was the gigantic statue of a goddess. Even though Ning Fan did not manage to figure out the name of the ancient demon realm and the cultivation method, he more or less understood some things. In order to obtain the Fu demon blood and become an ancient demon, he would need at least one item left behind by the ancestors of the Fu race. Besides, through the ancestral sacrifice ceremony, he could obtain a special power similar to the ancestral talisman of the devil race. Only then could he become a true ancient demon. Unfortunately, the Fu race had been extinct for a long time. Perhaps there were no longer any items left behind by the ancestors of the Fu race in this world. Even if Ning Fan figured out the method to become an ancient demon, he would not be able to cultivate into an ancient demon. After understanding this, Ning Fan no longer asked any more questions about ancient demons. He simply accompanied Bright Sparrow to play for 2 days. 2 days later, under the strong request of Old Man Chu, Bright Sparrow began to enter seclusion to cultivate so that she could obtain the inheritance in her best condition. The place where she cultivated in seclusion was a quiet and cold pond. It had the miraculous effect of refining her demon power. Ning Fan was naturally worried about Bright Sparrow soaking in the pond alone. Thus, he asked Su Yen to accompany her in the bath and take care of her while she was at it. As for Ning Fan, he returned to the guest house on the Demon Island. He was also preparing for the ancient demon inheritance ceremony that would take place 8 days later. The guest house that he was staying in was not far from the quiet pond where Bright Sparrow and Su Yen were in seclusion. If anything happens to the two ladies, Ning Fan could come to their aid at any time. It was a guest house that was built by hollowing out a gigantic tree. It was surrounded by demon-spotted bamboos, which were unique to Sekong Island. They emitted a refreshing fragrance of bamboo leaves. In the bamboo forest outside the guest house, a dark-skinned young man was standing respectfully. He had been waiting for Ning Fan outside the guest house for 2 days. He was the young man who dissuaded Bright Sparrow from accepting the inheritance that day. When Ning Fan arrived at the guest house, the young man's body immediately trembled. His expression was a little fearful. Obviously, he was afraid of Ning Fan's greetings to revered Ming. The young man knelt on the ground with a thud and kowtowed to Ning Fan a few times. Ning Fan casually flicked his sleeve. A gust of wind was generated from his sleeve and he helped the young man to his feet. 2 days ago, Ning Fan told the young man to wait for him at the guest house because he had something to ask him personally. As soon as the young man heard that Ning Fan had something to ask him, how would he dare to be negligent? Even though his cultivation base was low, he had lived in the internal endless sea after all. He had heard many rumors about Ning Fan's cold-bloodedness in killing people. Thus, he was afraid of Ning Fan to the core. Originally, he was one of the demon slaves who guarded the princess statue. Thus, he was not allowed to leave his post without permission. However, when some deacons and elders heard that Ning Fan wanted to see him, they immediately relieved him of all his duties and ordered him to wait for Ning Fan at the guest house. They did not assign him any other tasks anymore. There were even a few elders of the Demon Island who told the young man that if Ning Fan asks him any questions, he must tell him everything he knows. Even if Ning Fan asks him about the secrets of the Demon Island, he must not hide anything from him. The young man's heart was filled with anxiety. He did not know what Ning Fan wanted to ask him by summoning him here. When he thought that he was facing a great devil lord whose name shook the entire rain world, he became even more nervous. His legs even began to tremble a little. Don't be nervous. I have something to ask you. You just need to answer me truthfully. If you answer me truthfully, I won't harm your life. Instead, I will give you some pills. Pills? Yes. Senior, please ask me anything you want. I will certainly tell you everything I know. As soon as he heard that there would be pills as a reward, the young man's eyes immediately burned with passion. His fear towards Ning Fan also lessened a little. With the young man's lowly identity as a demon slave, Ning Fan could just directly search his soul and memories if he wanted to know something. There was no need for him to ask unnecessary questions. No one would care about a mere demon slave no matter what kind of harm he suffers. This was the cruel reality of the cultivation world. For example, there were always demon slaves who mysteriously disappeared recently but no one seriously investigated them. If it were other devil cultivators who wanted to know something, perhaps they would directly search the young man's soul and memories. However, Ning Fan was not that cruel. Moreover, he even promised to give the young man a reward for answering his questions. This made the young man excited and he could not help but feel that Ning Fan was not as cold-blooded and heartless as the rumors in the outside world said. What's your name? What position do you hold on Sekong Demon Island? My name is Lin Yu. I'm one of the demon slaves who guard the princess statue. Lin Yu said respectfully. Why did you stop Ming Ke from carrying out the ancestral sacrifice inheritance that day? Anne. Ning Fan paused for a moment and his expression suddenly turned fierce. Where did you get the beast tooth pendant on your neck? Ning Fan paid some attention to the young man that day. Now that he was inspecting him from a close distance, he realized that there was an extremely weak trace of ancient demon power in the young man's body. This power came from the beast tooth pendant on the young man's neck. I found this beast tooth by accident. I made it into a pendant on my own. I didn't steal it. Please believe me, Senior. As for the reason why I stopped Island Lord from accepting the inheritance, it was because. When the young man saw Ning Fan's fierce eyes, he immediately became afraid. Because of what? It's because I was guarding the princess statue one night. However, I saw some unclean things below the statue. It seemed to be some kind of demon creature. It devoured a few demon slaves and entered the statue in a flash. The beast tooth pendant on the pendant was picked up at that time. It was left behind by that demon creature. I believe that there must be a demon living inside the statue now. If Island Lord accepts the inheritance recklessly, you might be in danger. The young man's voice was trembling but his expression was sincere. There was no hint of pretense. Demon creature. Ning Fan furrowed his brows. How could there be a demon living in a perfectly fine statue? The statue was filled with endless power of Joss flames. Even Ning Fan's spirit sense could not penetrate into the statue. What kind of demon was so powerful that it could actually enter the statue? Recalling the day when he entered the demon island, Ning Fan noticed that the eyes of the statue flickered strangely. Then, he thought that the demon would leave behind a beast tooth that contained ancient demon power. Ning Fan's eyes suddenly narrowed. Could it be that there is an ancient demon living inside the statue? Ning Fan's eyes swept across the beast tooth pendant of the young man and felt a trace of void-pierce stage chi from it. If there is really an ancient demon inside the statue, it must be a void-pierce stage ancient demon. Here is a bottle of second revolution pills. It can help you break through to the harmonious spirit realm. Ning Fan patted his storage pouch and took out a bottle of pills. He threw it to the young man and asked him to leave. As soon as the young man saw the pills in the bottle, he immediately revealed a look of surprise. After thanking Ning Fan profusely, he left. Ning Fan, on the other hand, went to the princess statue to investigate for a long time. However, he still could not penetrate the statue with his spirit sense. He could not find out anything about the ancient demon, but he could really sense the residual chi of a void-pierce stage expert in the statue. That chi was extremely faint. Ordinary people would not be able to sense it. Only high-revolution pill masters with sharp senses like Ning Fan could sense it. That chi contained an extremely faint ancient demon chi. There really is an ancient demon inside the statue. This ancient demon is hiding inside the statue. Outsiders can't enter the statue. Unless I destroy the statue, I won't be able to force him out. Ming Ke still needs the power of inheritance from the statue. Thus, I naturally can't destroy the statue. In that case, if this ancient demon doesn't show up on his own, I won't be able to meet him. I wonder if this ancient demon will cause any changes when Ming Ke receives the inheritance 8 days later. An ancient demon at the void-pierce stage can't be underestimated. If he doesn't have the intention to harm Ming Ke, I won't bother to attack him. However, if he dares to cause any trouble, he will certainly die. Inside the statue, a demonic beast in the form of a white tiger was hiding and cultivating under a ball of pure white Joss flame power. The demonic beast's body emitted a void-pierce stage aura force. It seemed to be taking a nap. Its mouth was stained with the blood and fur of a living human. Damn it! There seem to be 2 experts on the demon island. Their chi is not much weaker than mine. Fortunately, they haven't discovered my existence yet. However, it seems like I can't leave the statue and eat living humans easily. The two experts were obviously referring to Ning Fan and Su Yan. Even though this white tiger was strong, it seemed to be rather timid. Its cultivation level was obviously higher than Su Yan and Ning Fan's, but it seemed to be extremely afraid of them. It seems like the primogeniture ceremony is about to officially begin. Sigh. Even though I can hide inside the statue and borrow the Joss flame power to cultivate, I can't directly devour the Joss flame power. These Joss flames are all for the master of the statue. Normally, only the master of the statue can absorb the Joss flame power. But the white tiger suddenly chuckled coldly. The one who is going to receive the Joss flame inheritance this time is the island lord of this demon island. He's just a divine transformation realm junior and is extremely easy to deal with. After this junior absorbs the Joss flame inheritance from the statue, I will eat him again and indirectly obtain the Joss flame power. The inheritance will begin 8 days later. At that time, I will make my move on that junior. Chapter 495. Ning Fan did not stay in the guest house. Instead, he stood under the statue for 8 days straight. He was Ning Fan, whose name shook the entire internal endless sea. None of the cultivators on the island dared to question what he wanted to do or where he wanted to stand. No one knew that Ning Fan was waiting for the ancient demon to show up under the statue. Ning Fan was not bothered by the fact that the ancient demon did not show up. After all, Ming Ke was the one who received the inheritance and he was responsible for protecting her. If that ancient demon dares to destroy the inheritance, he would not mind making that ancient demon pay the price. 8 days passed in the blink of an eye. A massive ancestral sacrificial grand formation and countless altars and ancient statues had been set up under the princess statue. There were also many shrines with many divine tablets on them. Countless demon cultivators knelt down and chanted unknown ancient scriptures. They burned incense and prayed, offering sacrifices to the ancient statues. Demons are humans who stand on top of heaven and earth. Humans are demons who trap heaven and earth. In ancient times, there was a human sovereign who became a demon on the spot. Heaven and earth were scriptures that could be chanted for thousands of generations. Ning Fan participated in the ancestral sacrificial demon ceremony as an outsider. As he listened to the group of cultivators chanting the ancient demon scriptures, his heart gradually calmed down. Each of the ancient statues was a statue of a divine bird. Each of these divine birds had 9 feathers on their tails and each of their feathers had strange patterns. The feathers were like ice needles. Even though they were just statues, their feathers were enshrouded in cold nether chi that could not be erased. This divine bird was the immemorial dark sparrow. All of the dark sparrow statues surrounded the gigantic goddess statue like stars surrounding the moon, as if the goddess was the king of all dark sparrows. Princess Sitsang. Sitsang must have been the king of the immemorial Dark Sparrow clan when she was alive. Ning Fan looked at the grand sacrificial ceremony and pondered. After an unknown period of time, the chanting in the surroundings suddenly became quiet. As for Ming Ke and Su Yan, they were walking towards the ancestral sacrificial grand formation under the escort of a group of oracles. Su Yan was naturally following Ning Fan's order to accompany Ming Quebec. She was still dressed in plain clothes, but it was difficult to conceal her mature beauty. Her enchanting appearance made countless demon cultivators swallow their saliva, but they did not dare to profane her. What a joke! Now, everyone in the internal sea knew that Su Yan had followed Ning Fan. Who would dare to profane Ning Fan's woman? As for Ming Ke, she was dressed up especially grandly today. She was no longer dressed like a little girl. Instead, she was dressed like a 12 or 13-year-old girl. She wore a gorgeous dress woven from silk and a feather cloak embroidered with ice needles. She also wore a delicate golden crown on her head, making her look like a petite queen. Today, Ming Ke wasn't as noisy as she used to be. Her small face was calm and dignified. "Greetings, Island Lord." When Bright Sparrow's group approached, all the demon cultivators who were chanting scriptures on the demon island kowtowed in unison. Their voices shook the heavens. Ming Ke, on the other hand, nodded indifferently and said, "Dispense with the formalities." Then, she walked into the ancestral sacrificial formation step by step. In front of any demon cultivators, he always had a cold and indifferent look on his face. Only when he approached Ning Fan did he mischievously blink his eyes. "Brother Biscuit, after I successfully inherit the inheritance today, my strength will certainly increase tremendously. Then, I will be able to help you deal with that Moksha sovereign." "Is that so? Then I'm looking forward to it." Ning Fan shook his head with a faint smile. The power of incense was the power produced by devotees' sincere worship. The power of incense in the princess statue was not weak. It was accumulated after countless generations of demon cultivators of the island kowtowed thousands of times. If this power is passed to Ming Ke, it would certainly improve her strength by a lot. It would allow her to break through from the mid-divine transformation realm to the late divine transformation realm or even the peak divine transformation realm. However, it probably wouldn't be enough for her to break through to the void refinement realm. Even if Ming Ke obtains the complete inheritance, she would still not be a match for Moksha Sovereign. However, she always remembered to help Ning Fan. Ning Fan was still very grateful for her kindness. "Don't worry. With me around, no one can stop you from receiving the inheritance." Ning Fan patted Ming Ke's head and said lovingly, Brother Biscuit is the best." Ming Ke suddenly stood on her tiptoes and mischievously gave Ning Fan a peck on his cheek. Then, she put on a dignified expression again and walked towards the highest altar below the statue under the escort of a few priests. Everyone including Su Yen stayed at the bottom of the highest altar. Ming Ke was the only one who went up the altar. A copper pond that was several zhang large was chiseled on the altar. The pond was filled with dark red demon blood. Ming Ke did not take off her shoes, socks or clothes. She directly stepped into the blood pond and immersed her entire body in it. At this moment, all the demon cultivators on the island became nervous. Old Man Chu, on the other side of the high platform, presided over the ceremony. "The ancestral sacrificial ceremony begins now. Chant the demon scripture and offer the demon sacrifice." Countless demon cultivators knelt on the ground and began chanting the ancient demon scripture again. Some of the demon cultivators carried various kinds of heavenly ingredients and earthly treasures, rare and strange beasts, and placed them in front of the statues. Some of them even killed the strange beasts and smeared the statues with their blood. Countless dark blue bonfires suddenly lit up in the wooden fences in all directions. Heaven and earth suddenly became gloomy and dark clouds covered the sky. Many of the priests began to control the ancestral sacrificial grand formation under the command of Old Man Chu. All of a sudden, the dark sparrow statues shattered one after another. Each of them emitted a ray of misty light which was absorbed into the princess statue at the center. An ancient and desolate chi gradually rose from the gigantic princess statue, affecting everyone's emotions. A vast amount of incense flame power shot out from the princess statue and reached the sky, turning into a gigantic shadow of an immemorial dark sparrow. That gigantic immemorial dark sparrow descended from the 9 heavens with an indelible majesty. Each of its 9 tail feathers was flashing with a misty white light. At this moment, Old Man Chu became increasingly nervous. He took the formation plate from the priests and personally activated the grand formation. As the grand formation was activated, one of the 9 tail feathers of the dark sparrow's shadow suddenly dimmed. That lost white light turned into a ray of flowing light. Like the Milky Way falling from the sky, it entered the blood pool and entered Bright Sparrow's body. It seemed like the power of inheritance had been divided into 9 rays and each of them was stored on the 9 tail feathers of the dark sparrow's shadow. The white light that entered Bright Sparrow's body only contained 1/9 of the power of inheritance. All of a sudden, the magic power in Bright Sparrow's body increased by several tens of thousands of units. Her aura force rose sharply. In the vast sky, layers of fiery red tribulation clouds emerged as if the heavenly tribulation of flames was about to descend. The power of the fire tribulation was extremely strong. It was almost comparable to the power of the heavenly tribulation of breaking through to the void refinement realm. Not good. There are a total of 9 rays of power of inheritance. This is only the first ray of power of inheritance, but it has already attracted such a strong power of heavenly tribulation. I'm afraid this fire tribulation can even incinerate a half-step void refinement realm old monster to death. Old Man Chu exclaimed in panic. He immediately looked at Ning Fan and Su Yen with eyes full of pleading for help. Each of the cultivators of the Demon Island stared at the heavenly tribulation and felt their scalps go numb. Even a void refinement realm old monster would not be able to withstand a heavenly tribulation of this level. These cultivators of the Demon Island certainly could not withstand a heavenly tribulation of this level. This was the reason why they did not dare to carelessly give the inheritance to Bright Sparrow. Yen Air, you guard Bright Sparrow. I will resist the heavenly tribulation. Ning Fan told Su Yen. Then, he suddenly soared into the sky. In just an instant, he had crossed an immeasurable distance and appeared below the fiery clouds. He did not even look at the fiery clouds. Instead, he raised his palm to the sky and activated the fire-plucking technique. The center of his palm seemed to have formed a fiery vortex that could never be filled. It sucked all the fiery clouds into the vortex and guided them into the steel of sun and moon. The fire tribulation which was powerful enough to kill a half-step void refinement realm expert was easily eliminated by Ning Fan. Each of the cultivators of the Demon Island sucked in a cold breath. Even though they had heard of Ning Fan's reputation, none of them had ever seen him in action. Continue the ancestral sacrifice. Ning Fan looked down at Old Man Chu and ordered. Yes. Continue the ancestral sacrifice. Seeing that Ning Fan easily withstood the heavenly tribulation, Old Man Chu heaved a sigh of relief and continued to activate the formation disk. In just 1 hour, the second, third and fourth rays of white light shot down from the feathers of the Dark Sparrow's shadow one after another and went into Little Bright Sparrow's body. Little Bright Sparrow's chi increased tremendously. She had already broken through to the late divine transformation realm. In just 1 hour, she had advanced from the mid-divine transformation realm to the late divine transformation realm. It really made many demon cultivators envious. For the 3 consecutive fire tribulations, Ning Fan was the one who destroyed the tribulation clouds on behalf of Bright Sparrow to break through to the late divine transformation realm. From the 5th ray of white light onwards, the power of the heavenly tribulation increased drastically. It was almost enough to severely injure a void glimpse stage cultivator. From the 7th ray of white light onwards, the heavenly tribulation could even severely injure a void inquiry stage cultivator. When it reached the 9th ray of heavenly tribulation, the chi of the fiery clouds became even more terrifying. Even a void pure stage old monster would be severely injured by this heavenly tribulation. However, no matter how strong these heavenly tribulations were, as long as they were still fire tribulations, they would not be able to withstand Ning Fan's fire-plucking technique. All of the fiery clouds were wiped away by Ning Fan with a raise of his hand and the flames were kept inside the steel of sun and moon. Ning Fan's strength had shocked the cultivators of the Demon Island time and time again. Even Su Yen did not expect that Ning Fan could easily eliminate the heavenly tribulation which severely injured a void pure stage expert. The 9 inheritances were all accepted by Bright Sparrow. Her magic power was almost close to 1 million units and she was only a step away from breaking through to the void refinement realm. Each of the 9 heavenly tribulations was more terrifying than the last. However, Ning Fan destroyed all of the tribulation clouds with a raise of his hand. Inside the princess statue, the white tiger ancient demon who harbored evil intentions witnessed Ning Fan's strength from beginning to end. He was already extremely timid in the first place. When he first saw Ning Fan's void inquiry stage chi, he was already scared to death. Today, When he saw Ning Fan easily destroy the heavenly tribulation of the void-pierced stage, he became even more afraid of him. Despite being a dignified void-pierced stage ancient demon, he was actually trembling and prostrating inside the statue. His eyes were filled with fear. The white tiger ancient demon knew that he would definitely not be able to withstand a heavenly tribulation of that level. However, Ning Fan could easily eliminate the heavenly tribulation. According to the white tiger's thought process, Ning Fan was definitely stronger than him. Moreover, Ning Fan was much stronger than him. What should I do? What should I do? This person is so strong. I'm certainly not his match. As long as this person is here, I won't be able to do anything to that pill devil at all. That pill devil has the bloodline of the dark sparrow. She herself is an extremely delicious delicacy. Moreover, she has absorbed all of the Joss flame power. If I can devour her, not only can my cultivation base improve, but I can also get rid of the broken soul body and cultivate a true demon body of flesh and blood. The white tiger ancient demon really wanted to eat Bright Sparrow, but he was extremely afraid of Ning Fan's strength. Just as he was hesitating, he suddenly remembered that he still had a treasure with him. As long as he has this treasure, there was no need for him to be afraid of Ning Fan. That's right. How could I forget about this treasure? This is a treasure that I risked my life to steal from my master. If it wasn't for this treasure, I would have died a long time ago. How could I still be alive today? Hee hee. I remember my master once told me that this treasure is called the Spirit Bone Jade Token. It was made from the spirit bone that my master left behind after his death. The white tiger ancient demon transformed into a burly man in white robes with the head of a tiger and the body of a human. He was holding a crystal clear and warm jade token in his hand. The jade token was engraved with circles of patterns that looked like the growth rings of a tree. There were many holes on the edge of the jade token. Each of the holes was connected with a thin string which was connected to a beast tooth. The beast tooth on one of the holes was missing, but the white tiger ancient demon did not care about it. If one takes a closer look, they would realize that the warm jade token was actually not a piece of jade. Instead, it was a piece of bone that had the texture of jade. This bone was the bone of an ancient demon. To be precise, the reason why the white tiger ancient demon was fortunate enough to become an ancient demon was because of this piece of spirit bone jade token. This treasure contained an unfathomable mighty force. It was not emitted by the spirit bone itself. Instead, it was emitted by the circles of patterns on the spirit bone. I remember my master once said that the circles of patterns on this spirit bone are called spirit wheels. They are the divine abilities of ancient demons and are extremely similar to the devil talismans of ancient devils. The white tiger ancient demon stared at the jade token. His initial fear towards Ning Fan immediately vanished by 90%. As long as I have this treasure, I don't need to be afraid of anyone. Humph. I must eat that little pill devil. Chi the white tiger mustered up his courage and turned into a ray of white light, shooting out from the princess statue. Even though he had become more confident, he was still a little afraid of Ning Fan after all. He did not dare to have a direct confrontation with him. Thus, his traveling light directly flew towards Ming Ke, stirring up countless demonic winds. He was prepared to capture her and find a good place to eat her. The appearance of this white tiger ancient demon was out of all the cultivator's expectations. His powerful void-pierced stage aura force attracted layers of void power, turning them into void waves in the vast sky. His aura force was terrifying. Only void-pierced stage cultivators could step on the void sea and maintain an inextinguishable magic power above the surface of the sea. Su Yan's eyes widened in surprise. She never expected that there would be a void-pierced stage old monster causing trouble in the inheritance. Moreover, the chi of this void-pierced stage old monster was extremely unfamiliar. It seemed to be a powerful demon cultivator who was definitely not a cultivator of the rain world. As for the cultivators of the demon island, they were all shocked by this sudden change. They did not have time to react at all. Ming Ke was about to be captured by the White Tiger Ancient Demon. I got her. The White Tiger Ancient Demon was overjoyed. His traveling light was unimaginably fast. He was only 100 zhang away from Ming Ke's sacrificial altar. He only needed to reach the sacrificial altar in an instant, capture Ming Ke and escape without a trace. At this critical moment, black flames suddenly flashed in front of him. The figure of a white-robed young man appeared. It was none other than Ning Fan, who was already prepared for it. Ning Fan spread his 8 black burning wings and appeared all of a sudden, coldly blocking the path of the White Tiger Ancient Demon. Releasing his essence chi, he raised his hand and made a palm strike. In an instant, he pressed 108 layers of execution palm imprints on the top of the White Tiger Ancient Demon's skull. Oh my God! This is the execution devil palm. I've seen this palm imprint before. According to the records in my master's jade slip, it's the technique that made a young great emperor famous in ancient times. Oh my God! Who exactly is this white-robed young man? He actually knows the abilities and magic techniques of an ancient great emperor. This is just too terrifying. The White Tiger Ancient Demon was immediately at a loss. To be honest, if he goes all out, he would most likely be able to withstand Ning Fan's execution devil palm. After all, his cultivation base was higher than Ning Fan's. However, the ancient demon was a coward in the first place. He was extremely afraid of Ning Fan. Now that he had recognized the origin of Ning Fan's devil palm, he became even less confident and fearful. For a moment, he did not know how to deal with Ning Fan. The ancient demon was so scared that he nearly peed his pants. He could not imagine that there was still someone who knew how to use the abilities of an ancient great emperor in the current world. Luckily, he finally remembered the spirit bone jade pendant in his hand. Before the devil palm reached his head, he suddenly took out the jade pendant and poured his demonic power into it. Circles of strange patterns on the surface of the jade pendant flickered violently, emitting rays of mysterious halos. When the halos collided with the execution devil palm, the powerful collision shattered the hollow space and sent countless sacrificial altars flying. Due to Ning Fan's protection, the sacrificial altar where Ming Ke was at was not affected by the shockwaves. She was still sitting in the blood pool with her eyes closed. She seemed to be absorbing the power of inheritance. Her brows were tightly knitted together as if she was enduring some kind of pain. The powerful shockwaves did not wake Ming Ke up, but it shocked countless demon cultivators on the island. It was the shockwaves of a battle between Void Refinement Realm experts. These demon cultivators on the island might not have seen a Void Refinement Realm battle in their entire lives. When the White Tiger Ancient Demon saw that he had actually withstood Ning Fan's palm attack, he found it unbelievable. Gradually, he became more confident. Even though he was a coward, he was not stupid. Just now, he activated the power of the spirit bone jade pendant in a hurry and only displayed 30 to 40% of its power. Even so, he easily withstood Ning Fan's sure kill attack. From the looks of it, Ning Fan did not seem to be as scary as he had imagined. You are not my match. Quickly scram and I can spare your life. I will definitely eat this little pill devil. The white tiger said arrogantly. Noisy. It was impossible for Ning Fan to let the ancient demon capture Ming Quebec. However, what made Ning Fan slightly surprised was that this ancient demon could see through Ming Ke's identity. What Ning Fan was more concerned about was the spirit bone jade pendant that the ancient demon was holding. That jade pendant had just activated several halos which easily blocked Ning Fan's execution devil palm. That halos were somewhat unusual. With Ning Fan's eyesight, he could even see that there was an extremely faint ancient demon chi on the spirit bone jade pendant. He could also see that the ancient demon chi of this white tiger was not pure. Moreover, he had used up almost 1/3 of his demon power to activate the jade pendant just now. This halos of the jade pendant are a little troublesome. However, This white tiger certainly can't use this treasure too many times. When the white tiger saw Ning Fan's cautious expression, he thought that Ning Fan was afraid of him. Inwardly, he felt extremely proud. Indeed. As long as I have Master's treasure, I will be invincible. Unfortunately, every time I activate this magic treasure, I will consume too much of my demon power. Unless I have no other choice, I can't rely on this jade pendant too much. It seems like this white-robed young man isn't that scary. Perhaps I don't need to use this jade pendant to deal with him. The white tiger kept the jade pendant and took out an umbrella-shaped magic treasure which reeked of blood qi. Then, he threw it at Ning Fan. Since you insist on getting in my way, I will eat you as well. World-opening umbrella. The blood umbrella soared into the sky and suddenly spread open. Countless rays of light shone, sucking Ning Fan and the white tiger into the world inside the umbrella. It was a small kiliocosm where a sea of blood surged. The sea of blood was boundless. The reason why the white tiger kept Ning Fan inside the world was just to kill him inside. A small kiliocosm cosmos treasure. Ning Fan's eyes were filled with surprise. Not only did this white tiger possess a strange jade pendant, but he also had a small kiliocosm cosmos treasure with him. This was rather unusual. Countless blood mists suddenly emerged from the sea of blood beneath his feet and rushed towards Ning Fan. Being inside the blood mists, Ning Fan immediately felt that his magic power was greatly restricted. Traces of his magic power were sealed by the blood mists. This blood umbrella was indeed somewhat extraordinary. Not only could it capture the enemy into a small kiliocosm, but it could also use the sea of blood to seal the enemy's magic power and cultivation base. Even a void fragmentation realm old monster might not necessarily have such a mysterious magic treasure. Ning Fan did not dare to be careless. He patted his storage pouch without hesitation and took out a lustrous blood sword. Then, he slashed at the blood mists in front of him. Immediately, the layers of blood mists were split apart by Ning Fan's sword as if they had met their nemesis. When the white tiger saw that his attack was successful and he managed to capture Ning Fan into the umbrella world, he was secretly feeling proud of himself. This blood umbrella is one of my master's magic treasures after all. Even if it is not as powerful as the spirit bone jade pendant, it is still extraordinary. However, when he saw Ning Fan split the blood mists apart with the blood sword, his face was immediately filled with fear because he had once again recognized the origin of the blood sword that Ning Fan was holding. A blood sword made from the bone of a heavenly demon blood dragon. A heavenly demon. That's an existence comparable to a true immortal realm expert. You're really a madman. You actually used the bone of a heavenly demon to craft a magic treasure weapon. The white tiger who was initially full of confidence lost his confidence once again. He was unprecedentedly afraid of Ning Fan. In his opinion, Ning Fan was just too terrifying. His master was just a true immortal realm expert, but Ning Fan used the bone of a heavenly demon to craft a magic treasure. Ning Fan was definitely a madman. I don't want to fight with you anymore. I want to run away. The situation is urgent. The white tiger's speech became somewhat incoherent. He wanted to escape from the umbrella world and seal Ning Fan inside. However, how could Ning Fan give him the chance to escape? You want to leave? Ning Fan did not give the white tiger any chance to escape. The blood sword had already descended from the sky. The sword light was shocking and it split the sea in half. Chapter 496. The white tiger's cultivation base was definitely higher than Ning Fan's. If he confronts Ning Fan head-on, he might not necessarily lose. However, he was a coward by nature. When he saw the powerful origin of Ning Fan's blood dragon demon sword, his heart was filled with fear. While he was fleeing, he suddenly turned his head to take a look when he sensed the sound of something piercing through the air behind him. When he turned his head, he was almost scared to death. That sword light was too powerful. It could even split the sea of blood in half. A sword that could split the sea was definitely not to be underestimated. While he was fleeing, he raised his blood umbrella. The umbrella gave off layers of faint red halos which were quite similar to the halos of the spirit bone jade pendant. Upon closer inspection, there were also some strange circular patterns on the blood umbrella. This blood umbrella is also engraved with the spirit wheel. It's an incredible magic treasure, the ancient demon muttered to himself. Immediately, the sea of blood behind him surged and turned into layers of blood-red walls, trying to block the sword light. Each layer of the walls formed by the sea of blood was extremely sturdy. Even if they receive a void glimpse stage attack, they might not break. However, the blood dragon demon sword was born to be the nemesis of the sea of blood. The sword light it emitted easily broke all the walls and approached the ancient demon's back. With a chi sound, the sword light suddenly accelerated and slashed at the ancient demon's back. At this moment, faint green halos suddenly appeared from the ancient demon's sleeves. It seemed to be protecting his body. The white tiger let out a muffled groan. He was hit by the sword light and immediately fell into the sea of blood like a kite with a broken string. After a short while, the white tiger regained his vigor and turned into a ray of traveling light, rushing out of the sea of blood. He glared at Ning Fan furiously. Even though his chi was in a mess, he did not seem to suffer any serious injuries. "You scared me to death. I thought I would die under the heavenly demon blood dragon sword. Luckily, I have the jade pendant to protect me. Master's magic treasure is indeed powerful. Brat, you have really angered me. I'm not going to run anymore. I'm going to fight you to the death." The blood dragon demon sword only had its first seal removed. It was equivalent to a low-grade mortal void treasure. In terms of power, it was not enough to kill a void-pierce stage ancient demon with a single strike. Moreover, at the critical moment, the spirit bone jade pendant in Gu Yao's sleeve suddenly emitted a faint cyan ring of light. As if it was protecting its owner, it counteracted most of the blood sword's sword light. Thus, although Gu Yao was struck by the sword light, he was not seriously injured. The white tiger ancient Fei was indeed frightened by the blood dragon demon sword. The heaven Fei dragon bone was too famous, and he happened to be knowledgeable enough to recognize the origins of the blood sword. However, when the white tiger saw that he was not killed by Ning Fan's sword, he immediately realized that the power of the blood sword in Ning Fan's hand was not fully activated. When he thought about the fact that he still had the spirit bone jade pendant to protect him, the white tiger regained his confidence. His fear towards Ning Fan lessened and he looked like he wanted to fight Ning Fan to the death. Ning Fan held the blood-red sword in his hand and frowned slightly. After a few exchanges, he'd already discerned that even though the white tiger's cultivation realm was high, it was extremely timid and had an extremely poor disposition. Moreover, it lacked experience in battles, so its combat strength wasn't high. However, the treasures on the ancient Fei were not to be underestimated. If it wasn't for the spirit bone jade pendant automatically protecting its owner and saving Gu Yao's life, Ning Fan was absolutely confident that he could severely injure Gu Yao with a single sword attack. "I'm going to fight you to the death." While the white tiger was clamoring, he took out his third magic treasure. It was a small hand furnace made of gold. Its grade was quite extraordinary. The gold seemed to be some kind of rare immortal ore. Even Ning Fan could not identify the type of immortal ore at first glance. The hand furnace was filled with a lot of black charcoal. As soon as the golden hand furnace came into contact with the wind, the charcoal immediately ignited with golden flames. In the past, he had stolen 3 magic treasures from his master. Other than the jade pendant and the blood umbrella, this golden hand furnace was the only one left. The white tiger raised his hand and activated the golden hand furnace. It grew in the wind and grew to 10,000 zhang in size. Then, it pressed down on Ning Fan's head, as if it wanted to suck Ning Fan into the Dao hand furnace and burn him alive with its flames. The golden flames did not belong to any kind of flame. They were just the flames emitted by the charcoal. Even so, they were much stronger than many sixth-grade spiritual flames. The surface of the golden hand furnace was engraved with circles of circular patterns. It seemed to have the ability to increase the power of the flames. By using the golden hand furnace to ignite the flames, the power of the flames would greatly increase. Even a void-pierced stage-old monster would lose a layer of skin if they were caught in the flames. Golden hand furnace, burn him to death. The white tiger roared fiercely. The golden flames immediately turned into layers of faint golden halos, burning at Ning Fan. Even though the golden hand furnace was extraordinary and the golden flames were powerful, Ning Fan was not afraid of them. The steel of sun and moon could restrain all flames in the world. He only needed to display the fire-plucking technique and he would be able to easily destroy the furnace magic treasure. The only thing that caught his attention was that be it the jade pendant, the blood umbrella or this hand furnace, all of them could emit strange halos. It was Ning Fan's first time encountering such an attack. Fire-plucking technique. His mind was racing but his actions were not slow at all. Ning Fan pointed a finger at the sky and displayed the fire-plucking technique with all his might. Black flames rose from his fingertip and suddenly turned into a gigantic fire vortex, incinerating all the golden fire halos that were raining down on him. Then, Ning Fan flapped his 8 wings and soared into the sky, facing the gigantic golden cauldron that was falling from above him. Boom! The falling momentum of the 10,000 zhang tall golden cauldron was extremely great. However, it was stopped by Ning Fan's palm strike. Ning Fan touched his glabella and took out the white lightning whip that he had not used for a long time. He whipped the golden cauldron with blood lightning bolts. Even though the current white lightning whip could damage the primordial spirit of his enemies without using it, its destructive power would of course be much stronger with the help of a medium. Bang! 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 Every time Ning Fan whipped the golden cauldron, a blood lightning bolt would explode in the ancient demon's dantian. It was the ability to whip magic treasures and damage the primordial spirit. This kind of method scared the slightly more confident Gu Yao half to death. This was because the cowardly him had once again recognized the origin of this divine ability. Injuring the primordial spirit by whipping magic treasures. I've heard of this technique before. It was recorded in Master's Jade Slip. It's a technique of an immortal emperor who wields lightning in ancient times. It uses the power of lightning to injure the enemy's primordial spirit. Even though there are many people who cultivate this technique, there are only a few who can cultivate blood lightning. Even Master can't cultivate blood lightning. But you actually managed to cultivate blood lightning? This is too scary. This is really too scary. 1 whip. 10 lashes. 100 lashes. All of a sudden, Ning Fan whipped the white tiger 100 times, attracting countless heavenly lightning bolts. After 100 lashes, the white tiger was already severely injured. He hurriedly used some kind of secret technique to protect his dantian to slightly block the blood lightning attacks of the white lightning whip. As for Ning Fan, he took the opportunity to activate his wind mist finger and pointed it at the golden cauldron, erasing the spirit sense imprint on it. The ancient demon let out a muffled groan. His sea of consciousness was in pain as he lost control of the golden cauldron. Ning Fan flicked his sleeve and the golden cauldron immediately shrunk. He kept it into his sleeve and forcefully snatched it away. This treasure no longer belonged to the ancient demon but Ning Fan. When Ning Fan touched the circular patterns on the cauldron, a strange feeling rose in his heart. His Fu-Li demon blood trembled. This circular pattern is definitely not simple. How dare you steal my magic treasure? I'm going to fight you to the death. This time, I'm really going to fight you. The ancient demon gnashed his teeth in anger. Ning Fan did not care about the ancient demon's threat. He had already seen through the ancient demon completely. This white tiger only had void pure stage cultivation base, but he was just an embroidered pillow that looked impressive but was actually useless. His mind was weak and his combat power was low. His combat power could not even be compared to some void inquiry stage cultivators. The only things on this weak ancient demon that were worth Ning Fan's attention were the 3 magic treasures. This demon is nothing to worry about. However, his magic treasures are a little tricky to deal with. I have no choice but to use my trump card. Ning Fan's expression changed. He no longer wanted to hold back. The ancient demon had the jade pendant to protect him. Even the execution devil palm could not hurt him. Besides, the execution devil palm was already Ning Fan's strongest attack. Ning Fan decided to directly suppress the ancient demon with the steel of sun and moon. The white tiger's heart was filled with rage after Ning Fan snatched his magic treasures. For a moment, he completely forgot about his fear towards Ning Fan and wanted to fight him to the death. He took out the spirit bone jade pendant and poured all of his demon power into it. The surface of the jade pendant immediately glowed with a faint green light. The rings on the jade pendant lit up one after another. An extraordinary aura force rose from the ancient demon's body. Previously, the ancient demon used 1/3 of his demon power to activate 30 to 40% of the jade pendant's power to block Ning Fan's strongest attack, the execution devil palm. This time, he poured all of his remaining demon power into the jade pendant, activating almost 70% of the jade pendant's power. The faint green light ring emitted from 70% of the jade pendant's power was already infinitely close to the power of an absolute void stage attack. However, the ancient demon was still not satisfied. He stomped his feet and shattered the void beneath his feet. In the shattered void, rays of pitch-black void power gathered to form a black ocean that flowed under his feet. It was the void ocean. It was a technique that only void pure stage cultivators could use. Standing on the void ocean, one's magic power would never run out unless the void ocean is destroyed. The ancient demon also poured the power of the void ocean into the jade pendant. Only after the void ocean shrunk by 1/3 could the jade pendant's power be fully activated. When the spirit bone jade pendant was activated to its full power, it was equivalent to an absolute void stage attack. The attack of the jade pendant was also infused with the power of the great momentum of heaven and earth. It was enough to hurt any void pure stage old monsters and instantly kill any void inquiry stage experts. My attack has already reached the power of an absolute void stage attack. This young man definitely won't be able to withstand an absolute void stage attack. He will certainly die. The white tiger made up his mind and raised the jade pendant. Immediately, the jade pendant shone with dazzling green light. It was as dazzling as a faint green sun. The jade pendant emitted countless circular halos. All of them were faint green in color. They spread out like ripples of water at an extremely fast speed. Wherever the halos passed by, the hollow space would shatter and heaven and earth would wrinkle. Ning Fan seemed to have an illusion that the sky had become a calm lake and the halos were the ripples of the lake. They were the wrinkles of heaven and earth while he was a mayfly floating on the surface of the water. He could be swept to the bottom of the lake by the ripples at any time. What kind of power is this halos? How can it change the great momentum of heaven and earth so casually? Ning Fan did not think too much about it. He activated the yin-yang locket and raised his hand. Black flames shot out from his finger and drew the lines of the steel of sun and moon in the sky like ink and brush. In an instant, the black flames condensed into a 1,000 zhang tall fire steel. Ning Fan lifted the fire steel with one hand and lifted it above his head. Then, he hurled it at the white tiger. The white tiger used all of his strength to unleash an absolute void stage attack, thinking that he would definitely win against Ning Fan. As soon as he saw the 1,000 zhang tall fire steel, he was stunned at first. Then, his face turned pale with fright and his entire body began to tremble. A void fragmentation realm attack. The power of this attack is comparable to the attack of a first heavenly layer void fragmentation realm expert. Impossible. I can only barely unleash an absolute void stage attack after using all of my strength. How can you unleash a void fragmentation realm attack so easily? The white tiger was once again frightened by Ning Fan's technique. The layers of green halos released by the spirit bone jade pendant clashed against the 1000 zhang tall fire steel. However, it could not shake off the fire steel's attack. The 1000 zhang tall fire steel that Ning Fan threw out carried the power of a void fragmentation realm attack. How could those halos withstand it? After each explosion, the fire steel would break through one of the halos and get closer to the white tiger. When the fire steel had broken through hundreds of halos, it was already hovering above the white tiger's head. Then, it suddenly smashed down with an aura force that could destroy everything. Not good. The white tiger screamed and tried to escape. However, the steel of sun and moon fell at an even faster speed. It was as if it had teleported across an immeasurable distance in an instant and crashed into his body. Ah! A heart-wrenching scream immediately resounded across the entire umbrella world. The 1000 zhang tall fire steel then dispersed into a boundless sea of black flames, burning 10,000 li away. In the sea of flames, a pure white and illusory remnant soul of the white tiger was holding a jade pendant and a blood umbrella while avoiding the black flames in fear. Even though he had a void pure stage cultivation base and possessed 3 unique treasures, he could not withstand a void fragmentation realm attack. He could only die with regret. Fortunately, a trace of his remnant soul managed to escape. Terrifying. This is simply too terrifying. This young man can actually unleash a void fragmentation realm attack. He's too heaven-defying. Luckily, I'm smart and hid the last trace of my remnant soul in the jade pendant at the critical moment. Otherwise, my remnant soul wouldn't be destroyed by that void fragmentation realm attack. Smart. Ning Fan's urging voice suddenly resounded in the sea of flames and appeared behind the white tiger's soul. With a raise of his hand, the demon soul, the jade pendant and the blood umbrella all went into his hand. If you're really smart, you shouldn't have provoked me. Soul-searching technique. Without showing any mercy, Ning Fan used the soul-searching technique on the white tiger's tiny demon soul. The white tiger's strength was not worth mentioning. However, the 3 magic treasures he possessed were extraordinary. Moreover, this ancient demon's knowledge was also profound. Ning Fan really wanted to see what kind of background this white tiger had. The white tiger's remnant soul shrieked continuously. Eventually, it stopped wailing and turned into an idiot. As the soul-searching technique continued, Ning Fan's expression became uglier and uglier. The master of this white tiger is actually the true immortal realm expert who schemed against Bright Sparrow. The sect master of the Pill sect in the Eastern Heaven immortal world. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with cold light. He did not expect that person to be the one who schemed against Bright Sparrow. This was slightly different from what Ning Fan had guessed in the past, but it was basically the same. The sect master of the Pill sect was a 9th revolution pill refinement master. He wanted to raise a pill devil to concoct an ancestral pill that surpassed the 9th revolution. Chapter 497. The ancient demon's memories were incomplete. From his incomplete memories, Ning Fan learned about his identity. He was the white tiger boy who guarded the pill cauldron of the sect master of the Pill sect. Ning Fan also understood why this white tiger was as timid as a mouse. He had to admit that this white tiger's life was really full of ups and downs. In the past, when the sect master of the Pill sect secretly descended to the lower world, he was determined to nurture a pill devil with all his might. He wanted the pill devil to continuously advance and eventually break through to the ancestral pill realm, which was above the 9 revolutions realm. When he descended to the lower world, he brought a few cauldrons with him. The white tiger boy was one of them. He didn't expect that White Tiger Boy would steal 3 of his treasures while he was busy designing the Pill Devil, and escape on his own. In the past, the White Tiger Boy was just a late Gold Core Realm cultivator. His cultivation base was not high. Even though he had supreme treasures, he could not control them as he wished. Moreover, he had been guarding the cauldrons for his master all his life. He did not have any battle experience at all. Thus, his low combat power was imaginable. A few years after the White Tiger Boy stole the 3 treasures, he died in the hands of a Gold Core Realm cultivator from the lower world. The 3 treasures were also taken away by that Gold Core Realm cultivator. That Gold Core Realm cultivator was only at the mid-Gold Core Realm, which was a small cultivation realm lower than the White Tiger Boy. That incident made the White Tiger Boy bear a grudge. Even though he knew that Ning Fan's cultivation base was lower than his, he was still very afraid of him when he met Ning Fan this time. Fortunately, the Spirit Bone Jade Pendant was extraordinary. The White Tiger Boy hid a trace of his remnant soul inside it, and it was not discovered by that Gold Core Realm cultivator from the lower world. In the beginning, the White Tiger Boy was bold and daring. Otherwise, he would not dare to steal his master's magic treasures. However, after he died once, he became extremely timid. His remnant soul hid in the jade pendant and did not dare to come out for countless years. That jade pendant was really extraordinary. It actually had the effect of deceiving heaven's secrets. When it was attached to a remnant soul, it could actually ensure that the remnant soul would not be destroyed and its lifespan would not end. The White Tiger's remnant soul hid in the jade pendant and focused on healing itself. Unknowingly, the jade pendant transformed his remnant soul and he managed to cultivate a trace of ancient demon power. His cultivation base also broke through to the nascent soul realm in one go. This was great. No matter what, the White Tiger of the nascent soul realm would not lose to a junior of the lower realm in the middle stage of the Golden Core realm. He was full of confidence and flew out of the jade pendant. He killed the Golden Core cultivator from the lower realm and washed his sect and family in blood. Only then did he heave a sigh of relief. At this time, countless years had passed since the alchemy sect master descended to the lower realm. The birth of the Pill Devil had already been arranged successfully, and the Pill sect master had already returned to the upper realm. Staying in the rain world, White Tiger felt like he was a bird that could fly freely in the vast sky. He thought that with the 3 supreme treasures of his master, he would be able to make a name for himself in the lower realm. He would not be the same as when he was in the upper realm, where he could only be a servant looking after the furnace. With his nascent soul cultivation base, it was more than enough for him to bully some harmonious spirit and gold core cultivators. He had made a name for himself in a low-ranked cultivation country and lived a carefree life. Unexpectedly, the unlucky White Tiger had somehow provoked a demonic cultivator who was half a step away from the nascent soul realm. Although the White Tiger ancient demon was a nascent soul cultivator, he was only at the early nascent soul stage and his combat power was low. Unfortunately, the demonic cultivator's combat strength was extremely high. After a battle, the demonic cultivator killed the White Tiger who was a realm higher than him and took away the 3 treasures. Fortunately, the White Tiger hid his remnant soul in the jade pendant again and escaped the calamity. However, he became even more timid. The taste of being killed by someone who was a realm higher than him was really bitter. The White Tiger hid his remnant soul in the jade pendant for an unknown number of years. His remnant soul was transformed by the jade pendant again. The ancient demon power in his body became denser and his cultivation base broke through to the spirit-severing realm after 1,000 years. At this time, the demonic cultivator had already broken through to the nascent soul realm, but he was only an intermediate nascent soul realm cultivator. No matter how heaven-defying an intermediate nascent soul realm cultivator was, he would not be able to defeat a spirit-severing realm cultivator. The White Tiger regained his confidence. He flew out of the jade pendant and killed the demonic cultivator, washing his sect in blood. However, the White Tiger began to learn to keep a low profile. He was a spirit-severing realm cultivator, but he chose to cultivate in a mid-ranked cultivation country and bullied nascent soul and gold core cultivators. He did not dare to go to a high-ranked cultivation country because there were spirit-severing realm old monsters there. In the beginning, he became unusually timid. Even though he was a spirit-severing realm cultivator, he did not even dare to offend a peak nascent soul cultivator as he was afraid that there would be another heaven-defying cultivator who would kill him. Unfortunately, fate made a fool of him. He once again offended a heaven-defying cultivator. That cultivator killed him and took his treasures away. That cultivator even brought the 3 treasures to the endless sea. I was killed by someone who is a realm higher than me again. The white tiger hid a trace of his remnant soul again and escaped the calamity. However, he let out a sorrowful and indignant cry from the jade pendant. Aggrieved. This is really too aggrieved. While feeling aggrieved, the white tiger became even more timid. After an unknown number of years, the white tiger who was hiding in the jade pendant continued to be transformed by the ancient demon in the jade pendant. Gradually, his cultivation base reached the void refinement realm. He flew out of the jade pendant again and was extremely proud of himself. He was ready to kill that cultivator to take revenge. Unfortunately, it took him tens of thousands of years to break through to the void refinement realm. That cultivator had already died of old age. Damn! There's no way for me to take revenge now. The white tiger who was wandering in the internal endless sea came across the statues of Sea Kong Demon Island by chance. He realized that there was quite a lot of Joss flame power inside the statues. Thus, he could hide there and cultivate. He had learned his lesson. This time, he was prepared to cultivate to the void fragmentation realm in one go before roaming around in the rain world. He refused to believe that he would still be killed by someone who is a higher realm than him when he has the strength of a void fragmentation realm cultivator. The white tiger had followed the sect master of the Pill sect for many years. He knew a lot of information about the Pill Devil. After staying on the Sea Kong Demon Island for many years, the white tiger had continuously broken through to the Void Inquiry stage and Void Pierce stage. However, he still could not completely refine the Joss flame power. At this time, Ming Ke arrived at the Sea Kong Demon Island. Thus, the white tiger began to think about devouring her along with the Joss flame when she receives the inheritance. Perhaps, he could break through to the absolute void stage in one go. The Pill Devil was cultivated by his master with all his efforts. Devouring the Pill Devil without permission was no different from offending the sect master of the Pill sect. However, the white tiger had already stolen his master's 3 treasures in the past. Since he had already betrayed his master, he was not afraid of betraying his master one more time. The experiences of this white tiger are really bumpy. However, every time he was on the verge of death, he would encounter great luck and escape from the calamity. Unfortunately, he met me and offended me. Now, he can't escape death. After Ning Fan finished searching the white tiger's memories, he devoured his remnant soul. Then, he took out the jade pendant, the paper umbrella and the handheld stove. He carefully checked each of them to make sure that the white tiger did not hide any remnant soul in them. Only then did he feel relieved. This time, the white tiger ancient Fei was really dead. Ning Fan did not immediately leave the world within the umbrella. Instead, he carefully studied the 3 magic treasures. From the white tiger's memories, he found out the identity of his master, the origin of the 3 magic treasures and the experiences of the white tiger in his life. However, he still had not figured out the specific divisions and cultivation methods of the ancient demon realms. He had no other choice. The white tiger was transformed into an ancient demon by the jade pendant without knowing it. How could he know the divisions of the ancient demon realms? Fortunately, the white tiger still knew some information about them. Inside the jade pendant, there were faint green circular demon marks. Each of them was like a human's fingerprint or a tree's growth rings. The paper umbrella had faint red circular patterns while the handheld stove had faint golden circular patterns. From the white tiger's memories, Ning Fan understood. These circular demon marks were called spirit wheels. Ancient devils have devil talismans and they use them to refine their blood. The strongest devil talisman is the ancestral talisman. Ancient demons have spirit wheels and they use them to gather spirit. The strongest spirit wheel is called the ancestral wheel. Ning Fan caressed the patterns of the spirit wheels on the three treasures. His eyes were as deep as the ocean. It was an expression that he would only show when he was deep in thought. In order to systematically cultivate the ancient demon realm, the first step was to return to the ancestral state and condense a spirit wheel that belonged to him. The devil talisman could refine one's blood and increase the realm of one's physical body, allowing the body refinement potential of an ancient devil to be 100 times higher than that of other races. The spirit wheel, on the other hand, could gather spirit and increase the realm of one's spirit sense. Similarly, the cultivation potential of an ancient demon would be 100 times higher than that of other races. As for Ning Fan, if he wants to condense a spirit wheel, he would at least need to find a relic of the old ancestor of the Fu Li tribe and use it to perform an ancestral sacrifice. Only then would he be able to condense a spirit wheel. In reality, he did not really care about cultivating the ancient demon path. However, he really wanted to condense a spirit wheel. If he has a spirit wheel, his spirit sense cultivation potential would be 100 times higher than that of ordinary cultivators. The strength of one's spirit sense was not only closely related to one's combat power but also closely related to pill refinement and weapon refinement. If he can condense a spirit wheel and improve his spirit sense, it would naturally be a wonderful thing. Unfortunately, the Fu Li tribe has already been annihilated a long time ago. The people of the world have not even heard of the name of Fu Li. I'm afraid it will be extremely difficult for me to find a relic of the Fu Li tribe's ancestor and perform an ancestral sacrifice. This is... Ning Fan's eyes suddenly stopped at the spirit bone jade pendant. He had a new discovery. The jade pendant, the paper umbrella and the handheld stove all had patterns of spirit wheels. However, the latter two had traces of engravings on them. They were not naturally formed. The spirit wheels on the jade pendant, on the other hand, were naturally there. They were obtained through cultivation. This jade pendant was originally carved from the remains of an ancient demon. That bone already had the spirit wheels of that ancient demon. When Ning Fan's spirit sense slightly entered the jade pendant, he was shocked to find that a trace of his spirit sense was actually wrapped by the power of the spirit wheels. However, that trace of spirit sense was not damaged at all. Under the nourishment of the spirit wheels, it was growing bit by bit. Gradually, the strand of divine sense grew longer and stronger. Ning Fan's eyes immediately lit up. No wonder that ancient demon could continuously improve his cultivation base with the help of this jade pendant. It turns out that this jade pendant can actually improve the cultivation base of his spirit sense. The cultivation base of the demon race was closely related to spirit sense. With the help of the jade pendant, White Tiger's cultivation base naturally advanced rapidly from the gold core realm to the void refinement realm. Ning Fan sent his spirit sense into the paper umbrella and the handheld stove. Even though the two treasures also had spirit wheels, they were man-made. Thus, they could not help Ning Fan's spirit sense increase. Apparently, only the spirit wheels on the jade pendant could improve his spirit sense. What would happen if I devour the power of the spirit wheels on the jade pendant? Ning Fan suddenly had a bold idea. Every ancient demon race had their own spirit wheels. Ning Fan had the Fu Li demon blood. If he wants to condense a spirit wheel, it would naturally be the Fu Li spirit wheel. Even though this jade pendant was made from the remains of an ancient demon, Ning Fan did not know what kind of demon race it belonged to. Even if he devours the spirit wheels of this demon, it might not be suitable for him to use. However, Ning Fan still wanted to devour the spirit wheels on the jade pendant to see if it could help improve the cultivation base of his spirit sense. He took a light breath and stroked the jade pendant with his fingers. He traced the patterns of the spirit wheels on the jade pendant and extracted the power from the spirit wheels into his body bit by bit. That inconspicuous spirit will actually contain unimaginable power. As the power was extracted, the light on the jade pendant became dimmer and dimmer. As for Ning Fan, after absorbing the power of the spirit wheels in the jade pendant, his spirit sense improved by leaps and bounds. His spirit sense was originally at the void glimpse stage. However, after absorbing the power of the spirit wheels, it actually showed signs of breaking through to the void inquiry stage. As for the spirit wheels, there were some incomplete fragments which seemed to be the memories hidden in the remains of the ancient demon. In those fragments, there were records of the jade pendant changing owners several times. In those fragments, there was a green-robed elderly man who descended to the rain world with a group of children. That green-robed elderly man was holding a blood-red umbrella with a jade pendant hanging from his waist and a hand furnace in his hand. He should be the sect master of the Pill sect. In those fragments, there were also the memories of the owner of the bone when he was young. In those memories, there was an ancient demon expert who was passing down cultivation techniques to many low-grade ancient demons. When those fragments flashed through his memories, Ning Fan hurriedly activated the power of his memory intent realm, trying to read through those memories in detail. His eyes were tightly shut and he gradually fell into a deep sleep. His mind sank into the memories of the ancient demon and fell into the illusions of the past, trying to pry into the great Tao of spirit wheels. It was a strange dream. It was a memory of the owner of the jade pendant when he was still alive. In the dream, Ning Fan was on a small continent that floated above the galaxy. On the continent, there was a 10,000 zhang tall white jade platform. On the jade platform, a white-haired elderly man who was draped in a tiger fur coat was sitting upright. His eyes were shining with bright demonic light. He was passing down cultivation techniques from the platform. Below the jade platform, there were millions of ancient demons listening to him. Ning Fan was sitting below the jade platform. He was an inconspicuous person among the millions of ancient demons. The place where he was sitting should be where the owner of the spirit bone sat in the past. Each of the ancient demons beside Ning Fan had powerful qi. Even the weakest among them was at the peak divine transformation realm. Obviously, one needed to be qualified to listen to the white-haired elderly man's Tao lecture. May I ask, monarch, what is a demon? An expert whose qi was at the second step of the divine transformation realm stood up respectfully and bowed to the jade platform. Demons are humans who stand on top of heaven and earth. Humans are demons who are trapped by the laws of heaven and earth. In the ancient times, there were human sovereigns who became demons on the spot. Heaven and earth were the scriptures. Once they recited it for thousands of generations, they would start a new era in the ancient times. There were also demon sovereigns who reincarnated as humans. They established the cataclysm of 3 lifetimes and finally attained immortality. The white-haired elderly man's voice was dignified and he spoke with assurance. His words spread to every corner of the jade platform, making many ancient demons fall into silence. May I ask, monarch, what is a spirit? Another ancient demon whose qi was comparable to Shikong stood up respectfully and bowed to the jade platform before asking. When heaven and earth have no spirit, demons will gain spirit. When heaven and earth return to their spirit, the spirit of demons will be extinguished. The white-haired elderly man's indifferent words made countless ancient demons sink into contemplation. May I ask, monarch, what is a spirit wheel? Ning Fan suddenly stood up and cupped his fists at the white jade platform. Spirit wheel. The white-haired elderly man suddenly raised his head and looked at Ning Fan. He was a little surprised as if he did not expect Ning Fan to ask a question. As for some ancient demons whose cultivation bases were comparable to void fragmentation realm, life immortal realm or even true immortal realm, they were a little displeased. According to the rules of the monarch, only immortals who had attained the second step of the divine transformation realm could ask the monarch for guidance. Even void fragmentation realm old monsters did not have the right to ask the monarch a question in such a grand occasion. Ning Fan's question was obviously against the rules. Immediately, a few immortals glared at Ning Fan coldly. Their eyes were filled with hostility and warning. Ning Fan did not show any sign of fear in the face of these seniors' warnings. His expression was still as calm as an ancient well. He only looked at the white-haired elderly man with eyes filled with curiosity. The white-haired elderly man, however, waved his hand, signaling the crowd not to reprimand Ning Fan. Then, he looked at Ning Fan and gently nodded his head. According to his rules, juniors were not qualified to ask questions. However, Ning Fan's fearless expression made the white-haired elderly man feel somewhat satisfied. Thus, he made an exception and began to answer Ning Fan's question. Demons should stand on top of heaven and earth. If you have fear in your heart, you will never be able to cultivate the demon Tao. You have no fear in your heart and you are a good candidate for demon cultivation. The white-haired elderly man praised Ning Fan. Immediately, countless ancient demon experts looked at Ning Fan in disbelief. Their gazes were filled with surprise, envy and jealousy. They were surprised because the monarch who had always been indifferent and never praised anyone would actually praise a junior. They were envious because Ning Fan was able to gain the monarch's favor. Perhaps, he was going to have a great fortune soon. You asked me what is a spirit wheel. This is a spirit wheel. The white-haired elderly man pointed his finger. Circles of dazzling white light spread out from his finger like ripples on water. As the light faded, circles of white light that looked like annual rings coiled around the elderly man's finger. They were his spirit wheel. The elderly man pointed at the sky. With the power of his spirit wheel, he could summon the wind and rain. He could extract the power of heaven and turn it into his own spirit sense and demon power. The elderly man pointed at the ground. With the power of his spirit wheel, he could move mountains and fill seas. He could extract the power of the earth and turn it into his own spirit sense and demon power. When the elderly man pointed at the area below the jade platform, the demon blood of millions of ancient demons boiled. They felt that they had lost control of their demon power and all of them were under the control of the elderly man. Ning Fan also felt the power of his spirit wheel. He felt that the elderly man could deprive him of all his power with just a glance. With the help of his spirit wheel, the elderly man could even deprive other cultivators of their demon power and turn it into his own. If the blood of an ancient devil was used to strengthen one's body and cultivate one's inner world, then, the spirit of an ancient demon was used to borrow the power of heaven and earth, using the spear of others to break the shield of others. At this moment, the white-haired elderly man who was sitting on the jade platform gave off a kind of aura force that could control heaven and earth. This piece of heaven and earth was under the control of the elderly man. Obtaining the spirit and turning it into a spirit wheel. The elderly man added. The eyes of countless ancient demons lit up. Some of them even exclaimed. Is this the ancestor wheel of the monarch? What a strong power! It can even deprive us of the power of the spirit wheel. The white-haired elderly man cleared his throat. Immediately, all the discussions below the jade platform quietened down. Then, he continued. Wheel is the great secret of heaven and earth. It is the pinnacle of the Tao. Trees have growth rings, humans have finger rings and heaven has Tao wheels. Demons use their spirits as their wheels and they control the cycle of reincarnation with their wheels. Everything in the world cannot escape from the cycle of reincarnation. If you understand it, you can understand the truth and obtain the wheel. If you don't, you will never be able to escape the cycle of reincarnation. The white-haired elderly man continued to impart his Tao. All the ancient demons wore blank expressions. Ning Fan was the only one who seemed to have comprehended something but he could not comprehend it. When the dream ended, Ning Fan opened his eyes blankly. The words of the white-haired elderly man were profound and unfathomable. It was far from what Ning Fan could comprehend with his current strength. Turning the spirit into a wheel and using the wheel to control the cycle of reincarnation, Ning Fan's eyes gradually became clear. He shook his head and stopped thinking about the information about the ancient demons. Even though he could not cultivate to the ancient demon realm for the time being, he had absorbed the power of the spirit wheel of the spirit bone on the jade pendant. His spirit sense had skyrocketed and he was just a step away from attaining the void inquiry stage. As for when his spirit sense would achieve a breakthrough, all he needed was an opportunity. Among the 3 magic treasures he obtained from the white tiger, other than the jade pendant which had its power greatly reduced after Ning Fan devoured its spirit wheel, the other 2 magic treasures were still in perfect condition. Putting aside the golden hand furnace, the blood umbrella was a small kiliacosm treasure that could not be obtained by anyone. Ning Fan now had another world inside the umbrella. It's time to go. Ning Fan held the blood umbrella in his hand and gently activated the spirit wheel on it. He immediately got out of the umbrella's world and returned to the sky above the demon island. Each of the cultivators on the demon island only saw Ning Fan and the white tiger entering the small kiliacosm together. They knew that the 2 of them were having a great battle inside the world, but they could not tell who would emerge victorious. Now that Ning Fan appeared in front of them unscathed and he even had the white tiger's blood umbrella magic treasure, it naturally meant that Ning Fan had won. Immediately, countless people on the demon island exclaimed in surprise. What? Revered Ming is actually so strong. He actually managed to kill a Void Pierce stage demon with just his Void Inquiry stage cultivation base. Oh my god! A Void Pierce stage old monster is a peak expert in the rain world. He actually lost as well. This is really unbelievable. Without a doubt, if the news of the battle on the demon island spreads out, Ning Fan's reputation would increase tremendously. Unfortunately, this matter would be kept a secret by Ning Fan this time and it would not be spread out. Ning Fan landed below the altar and nodded at Su Yan, who was filled with worry, telling her to be at ease. Then, he shifted his gaze to Ming Kei, who was frowning deeply. Other than the improvement of her cultivation base, the biggest benefit she got from the inheritance was that she had gained a large amount of Si Tsang's memories when he was alive. She was trying her best to digest these memories. She probably still needed a lot of time. During this period of time, she naturally needed Ning Fan's protection. Before Ming Kei wakes up, it's best to erase the memories of the cultivators on the demon island. The white tiger exposed Ming Kei's identity as a pill devil with just a few words. Besides, it was also related to the pill sect. Ning Fan did not want the world to know about Ming Kei's identity as a pill devil in order to avoid more troubles. Erase. He raised his hand and a black snowstorm fell from the sky. He activated his memory power with all his might. All the cultivators on the demon island who were immersed in the snowstorm fell into a daze and lost consciousness. Many of their memories were erased by Ning Fan one after another. When these cultivators wake up, they would probably feel intense pain in their sea of consciousness again. However, this was not what Ning Fan was concerned about. As time passed by, Ming Kei's body suddenly emitted a strange pill fragrance. That pill fragrance vaguely reached the grade of a low-grade 6th revolution pill. At this moment, Ming Kei suddenly opened her eyes. Her eyes were alternating between a frosty noble and indifferent look and a pure and innocent look from time to time. At the same time, the immemorial Dark Sparrow clan in the heavenly demon world suddenly descended into chaos. In the ancestral temple where the ancestors of the Dark Sparrow clan were worshipped, one of the ancestral statues suddenly shone brightly. Ancestor. Si Tsang. What exactly happened? Why is there such a strange phenomenon? Chapter 498. Si Kong Demon Island fell into a strange atmosphere. Each and every one of the cultivators on the island had their memories erased by Ning Fan. All of them fell into a coma. Even the high priest was not spared. The little girl Ming Kei absorbed Si Tsang's mixed memories bit by bit, trying her best not to let her personality be erased. Her expression became more dignified and indifferent. It was even more noble and cold than Su Yan, who was once the clan leader of the Misthorn clan. That was the dignity that belonged to Princess Si Tsang. Along with the mixed memories, Ming Ke digested them one by one. As her stomach growled, Ming Ke finally opened her eyes. Her eyes were still a little blurry, as if she had just woken up from a long dream. However, they suddenly turned cold. Ning Fan was actually a little nervous. Even if he were to face thousands of soldiers and horses, he would not blink his eyes. However, when he saw Ming Ke's cold and somewhat unfamiliar eyes, his heart tightened. It was very easy to change one's personality when another set of memories suddenly appeared in one's head. That cold and arrogant gaze definitely did not belong to Ming Quebec. It belonged to Princess Si Tsang. Ming Ke was Si Tsang's reincarnation. Could it be that her personality had changed greatly after receiving her inheritance? Just as Ning Fan wanted to ask about her condition, he saw her jump out of the blood pond and run down the altar with a sad face. Then, she ran to Ning Fan pitifully. The coldness in her eyes had already disappeared. What replaced it was the same cute expression as before. Hungry. Brother Biscuit, I'm hungry. The little girl who was wearing a golden crown wore a dejected expression. In order to receive the inheritance, she had used up all of her strength. Now, she was so hungry that she could eat 100 pieces of pill biscuits. When Ning Fan heard that Ming Ke's tone was still the same as before, he did not ask any more questions. She was still herself. She was still so gluttonous. Ning Fan, of course, would not let Ming Ke go hungry. He took out many fifth revolution pills and gave them to her like beans. No matter what kind of medicine they were, all of them would turn into energy to improve her cultivation base in her stomach. After finishing 3 bottles of fifth revolution pills, Ming Ke let out a cute burp and giggled. I'm full. Su Yan was speechless. Ming Ke was probably the only person in the rain world who could eat fifth revolution pills like beans. Ordinary cultivators could not digest the medicinal power of so many pills at all. Besides, Ning Fan was probably the only one who would be willing to give a fifth revolution pill to Bright Sparrow so casually. After eating and drinking to her heart's content, Bright Sparrow finally noticed that all the demon cultivators on the island had been defeated. She was slightly surprised. However, when she found out that it was Ning Fan's doing, she no longer cared about it. As long as Ning Fan is willing, she would not have any objection even if he wants to sink Si Kong Demon Island. Then, she told Ning Fan everything about the inherited memories that she had obtained. Princess Si Tsang was born in ancient times and was once the princess of the immemorial Dark Sparrow clan. Later on, due to a disagreement with an elder in the clan, she left the Dark Sparrow clan and died mysteriously. As for why he died, there was no memory left behind. As for all the information regarding ancient fae and spirits, none of it had been passed down. It was a great pity. From Si Tsang's memories, Bright Sparrow had obtained many demonic techniques and demonic arts of the Dark Sparrow race. She had also obtained many cultivation insights left behind by Si Tsang when he was alive. At this moment, Ming Ke possessed the physique of a pill devil. She also possessed a king-level demonic blood and had inherited Si Tsang's cultivation experience. Her future would be extraordinary. He wouldn't dare to say anything above the 4 heavens, but below the 4 heavens, no one's cultivation speed could compare to Bright Sparrow's. Even if it was Ning Fan, he wouldn't be able to match Bright Sparrow's cultivation speed if he were to stay in the sect and cultivate methodically. Of course, Ning Fan's cultivation was carried out in battles. The strength that was honed through life and death situations was not something that Ming Ke could compare with. In just half a day's time, Ming Ke had already broken through from the mid-divine transformation realm to the half-step void refinement realm with the help of the power of the inheritance. If this matter were to spread out, countless old monsters would be envious of her. Ning Fan recalled his own path of cultivation. From the mid-divine transformation realm to the half-step void refinement realm, it could be said that there were endless battles and he had put in a lot of effort. As for Ming Kei, she managed to break through to the half-step void refinement realm so easily. If this little girl is given a good cultivation environment, her future will be limitless. Ning Fan pondered. Bright Sparrow had just received the inheritance and was exhausted. After eating and drinking to her heart's content, she went to sleep. Su Yen accompanied Bright Sparrow to rest. Since Bright Sparrow's cultivation base had yet to stabilize, she had to protect her a little. As for Ning Fan, he used a magic technique to wake up the cultivators of the Demon Island one by one. If they were allowed to remain unconscious like this, no one knew how long they would remain unconscious for. When the cultivators of the Demon Island woke up, all of them had lost their memories. All of them found it strange. Many of them remembered that the island lord had successfully obtained the 9 inheritances. However, they could not remember what happened after that. Anyone with a discerning eye could guess that the one who erased their memories was Ning Fan. On this Seekong Demon Island, Ning Fan was the only one who had the ability to erase the memories of cultivators as he wished. Old Man Chu and the other priests vaguely guessed that something must have happened after the inheritance ended. That was why Ning Fan erased everyone's memories to prevent them from knowing the truth. At that moment, no one dared to ask what exactly happened after that. No one asked why their memories were erased. Night fell. The entire Seekong Demon Island was decorated with lanterns and colored banners to celebrate the success of the island lord's inheritance. Ming Kei, of course, did not attend the celebration. She was still sleeping. She was really too tired. Su Yen, who was guarding her, also did not attend the celebration. Under the princess statue, the cultivators of the Demon Island covered the sky and sat on the ground. They held a grand banquet. They slaughtered countless animals as sacrifices and offered countless spiritual fruits and spiritual wine. They built countless tall wooden racks and lit bonfires. Under the night sky, rows of beautiful female cultivators of the Demon Island danced gracefully. Many of them were trying to please Ning Fan. I heard that revered Ming cultivates a dual cultivation devil technique. My Seekong Demon Island might not have anything else, but we do have many beautiful female demons. If revered Ming takes a liking to any of them, you can marry them as your concubines. It's their honor. Old Man Chu burst into laughter. Many experts of the Demon Island repeatedly toasted Ning Fan. You must be joking, Priest Chu. Ning Fan took a sip of the spiritual wine and shook his head with a faint smile. The female cultivators of Seekong Demon Island were all Ming Kei's loyal servants. Ning Fan would not go to the extent of capturing human cauldrons here. This wine was a unique demon wine of Seekong Demon Island. It was called Missing Sparrow. It tasted slightly spicy when it entered the throat. However, when it entered the stomach, it would become dense and warm, gradually filling one's stomach with longing. The Missing Sparrow wine had been passed down for countless generations on the Demon Island. That sparrow was the immemorial Dark Sparrow. This wine contained the longing of generations of cultivators of the Demon Island for Si Tsang. Ning Fan was immersed in this atmosphere. His heart suddenly calmed down and he drank a mouthful of the Missing Sparrow wine. Cultivators have no home, but Seekong Island is Ming Kei's other home. They were a group of loyal servants. Si Tsang had been dead for countless years. Seekong Demon Island had also been passed down for countless generations. The immemorial Dark Sparrow clan had long forgotten that there was still a small force in the lower world which once belonged to the Dark Sparrow clan. However, these cultivators of the Demon Island were still waiting for Si Tsang's return with unwavering loyalty. Even though the members of the immemorial Dark Sparrow clan had forgotten Si Tsang's name, the cultivators of the Demon Island were still waiting for their master's return. Even if time had erased their memories, the only thing that remained unchanged was the longing that was passed down from generation to generation. All of their longing was engraved on the statues, brewed in the spiritual wine and integrated into their kowtows. They were sincerely waiting for their master's return. That kind of waiting had nothing to do with life and death. Whether Si Tsang was still alive or not, they would continue to wait. Cultivators had no home. Sects, forces and clans could not be considered as a cultivator's home because in these places, cultivators still had to spare no effort in scheming against each other. They could never avoid conflicts. Sects, forces and clans are not a cultivator's home. Just like how the Great Void sect is not Suchio's home, just like how the Giant Devil clan is not Shuyan's home, and just like how this place is not my home. Only a place that can make one's heart feel at peace is the home of a weapon cultivator. Miss Sparrow, Miss Sparrow. The cultivators of the Demon Island miss Dark Sparrow Princess, but I also missed Sinister Sparrow, U Country, and 7 Apricot City. To me, 7 Apricot City is my home, Gusu City is my home, and the 9 divisions of the Lu clan are also my home. It turns out that I also have a home. Home. Ning Fan's eyes became a little hazy from being drunk. He carried the wine alone and walked into the dense bamboo forest of the Demon Island. The sea of bamboo was boundless. The towering bamboo forest seemed to be able to cover the night sky, but it could not cover Ning Fan's nostalgic eyes. He was not drunk from the wine but his heart. If his heart was drunk, he would also be drunk. In his hazy state, he seemed to see his younger self who cultivated painstakingly in order to break through to the gold core realm. In his hazy state, he seemed to see his past when he was a mortal and the past when he was in Hai Ning of Wu country. He seemed to see his past and his next life, he seemed to see Ninggu being framed. He seemed to see the old hair on the temples of the old devil. His heart felt a little sour. He seemed to see the struggle of the sea of blood. He felt a little tired after killing so many people. He seemed to see the butterflies in his previous life rushing towards immortal Emperor Zhang Qing with unwillingness and determination. He could not stop. He could not stop. Even though his cultivation base had reached this level, he still could not enjoy a moment of peace. He still had a long way to go on this path. In the life of a cultivator, I have experienced countless slaughters and the wind and rain. Life and death are up to the heavens. I am only drunk today. Ning Fan muttered to himself. When the night wind blew, accompanied by the fragrance of bamboo leaves, he gradually felt dizzy and tired. It was already late at night. He glanced sideways and suddenly saw Su Yan at the end of the bamboo forest. She was leaning against a bamboo and looking at him quietly. Is this the real you? You look so tired. Su Yan's eyes were filled with pity. It turned out that Ning Fan, who had a shocking devil reputation, was just an ordinary person. It turned out that behind the glory, there was also loneliness and desolation. I am me. Ning Fan slowly closed his eyes and fell into a deep sleep under a gigantic bamboo. With Su Yan around, he could probably rest for a while. The drunkenness lasted for a day and a night. When Ning Fan woke up, he found himself lying in the guest house. Su Yan and Ming Kei were waiting for him in the room. Su Yan did not mention anything about the drunkenness. She just behaved as usual. Ming Kei, on the other hand, was chattering non-stop. She found it unbelievable. She did not believe that an expert like Ning Fan would also get drunk. After staying for a few days, Ning Fan left some pills, magic treasures and cultivation notes for the demon cultivators of Si Kong Demon Island. Since this demon island was so loyal to Ming Kei, he naturally had to take care of them. Ming Kei, on the other hand, left all the divine transformation realm slaves she captured in the internal sea to Si Kong Demon Island. She also left many cultivation methods of the Dark Sparrow clan which greatly improved the overall strength of the Demon Island. Since Ning Fan was going to leave Si Kong Island, Ming Kei naturally had to go with him. Even though the cultivators of the Demon Island were reluctant to let her leave, they could not stop her from leaving. Fortunately, the cultivators all knew how strong Ning Fan was. They understood that the island lord would not be in any danger if she stayed by his side. Su Yan summoned the silver boat with a horned dragon while Ning Fan sent a message transmitting flying sword in the direction of the Pill Island. Ming Ke was happily eating the 5th revolution pills that Ning Fan had given her. The three of them then boarded the boat. The 12 silver-scaled flood dragons roared loudly and pulled the silver boat, disappearing into the sky in an instant. At this moment, all the cultivators on the demon island knelt in front of the silver boat. Some of the older demon cultivators looked at Ming Ke, who had gone far away, with tears flowing down their cheeks. They felt extremely sad. Some young and beautiful female cultivators were reminiscing about a white-robed young man inside. Among the crowd, a dark-skinned young man raised his head and looked at the direction where Ning Fan had left. His eyes were filled with passion and he clenched his fists tightly. "One day, I will be like revered Ming and become a void refinement realm cultivator whose name shakes the world." The demon slave, Lin Yu, made up his mind. The silver boat flew all the way to the Pill Island. Before Ning Fan left the demon island, he sent a message transmitting flying sword in the direction of the Pill Island. Of course, it was to inform his cheap disciple, Yang Gu, that he was going to the Pill Island to borrow the soul washing pond. Ning Fan was a foreign elder of the Pill Island and he had done a great favor for the island. Previously, if it wasn't for Ning Fan taking care of the Pill Island, they might not have been able to bring back that void inquiry pill. With such a favor, no one would naturally stop Ning Fan from borrowing the soul washing pond. The reason why he had informed them in advance was because he was worried that there would be a lot of matters to take care of when borrowing the soul washing pond. Thus, he asked the cultivators of the Pill Island to prepare in advance. As soon as she heard that they were going to the Pill Island, the one who was the most excited was naturally Ming Quebec. In her dictionary, the Pill Island was better known as the Biscuit Island than the Pill Island. It was a dreamy paradise that was like a candy house. As long as she arrives at the Pill Island, she would be able to eat her fill. She must hurry to the Pill Island. She could not wait any longer. With the speed of the silver boat, it only took them 4 days to travel from Si Kong Island to the Pill Island. When they were only a few million li away from the Pill Island, Ming Ke could already see the silhouette of an island in the distance where the sea and the sky connected. It was the Pill Island. She immediately swallowed her saliva and leaped off the silver boat. Suddenly, a pair of snow-white wings made of ice needles appeared on her back. Then, she flew towards the Pill Island at a speed faster than the silver boat. Her action slightly surprised Su Yan and Ning Fan. The speed of the silver boat that was being pulled by 12 silver-scaled horned dragons was already infinitely close to the void-pierced stage. However, Ming Ke's speed was even faster than the silver boat. It undoubtedly meant that this little girl's speed had already reached the void-pierced stage. Her speed was not much slower than Ning Fan's 8 black burning wings. Those wings. Are they the demon wings of the Dark Sparrow clan? Ning Fan looked at Ming Ke's back and muttered to himself. However, he did not stop her. Ming Ke's cultivation base was already at the half-step void refinement realm. Her speed was even more heaven-defying. After obtaining Si Tsang's inheritance, her combat power would probably be extraordinary. Perhaps, she could even beat up an ordinary void glimpse stage old monster. Since she wants to go to the Pill Island first, I'll just let her go. After all, her safety will not be a problem. Besides, even though Ming Ke was innocent, she was not stupid. On the contrary, she was very smart. Even if she wants to eat all the pills on the Pill Island, she would not openly snatch them. At most, she would just want to get to the Pill Island as soon as possible and be excited about it. Ming Ke's traveling light was extremely fast. After a few flashes, they could no longer see her. Following the direction of Ming Ke's traveling light, the silver boat gradually approached the Pill Island. Before they even got close to the Pill Island, Ning Fan could already feel the collision of vast magic power coming from the island. Looking from afar, a young lady wearing a golden crown was confronting a black-robed old man who was wearing a rigid expression. Ming Ke was a half-step void refinement realm expert. That old man was actually also a half-step void refinement realm expert. Ming Ke's techniques were not weak, but that old man also had some capabilities. Soul transforming dragon technique. The old man patted the top of his head. A wave of black medicine soul power turned into a gigantic black dragon, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws at Ming Quebec. This gigantic black dragon had the strength comparable to a void glimpse stage expert. Possessing a black medicine soul meant that this old man was a 6th revolution pill refinement master. As for transforming one's medicine soul into a dragon, it was a kind of profound medicine soul attack technique. The old man's strength was a little strong, but Ming Ke was even stronger. She performed a hand seal, and a trace of spirit sense that was as cold as ice spread out from her sea of consciousness. All of a sudden, 10,000 li of the area was frozen. Ice sense. This ability was actually the ice-cold spirit sense that was released after one sea of consciousness had turned into the form of ice. Ning Fan was slightly surprised. After Ming Ke received Si Tsang's inheritance, she had gained a lot of incredible abilities. First was her void pierce stage speed. Now, she had her ice-cold spirit sense. I wonder how many more trump cards this little girl has. As soon as the ice sense dispersed, the black dragon immediately shuddered. Its eyes widened in shock and it wanted to retreat without any hesitation. When the old man saw that the black dragon was no match for the ice sense, he hurriedly withdrew the power of his medicine soul and used it to protect his body. Then, he jumped out of the battle and waved his hand. I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want to fight anymore. Where did you come from, little girl? How could you be so powerful? I'm not a match for you. You've admitted defeat? Bright Sparrow smiled complacently and withdrew her ice perception. She didn't hurt the old man and continued, since you've admitted defeat, you'll have to follow our agreement and let me enter the Biscuit Island. Biscuit Island. Cough cough cough. This name is really new. Alright, you can enter the Pill Island now. However, there will be a guest visiting my Pill Island in the next few days. That person is very powerful. Even if you enter the island, you must not provoke him, lest you attract trouble. The old man nodded helplessly. He was no match for Bright Sparrow, so he had no choice but to agree to her request to enter the island. TSK, what kind of guest is this? Can he be more powerful than my brother Biscuit? Bright Sparrow curled her lips. She did not know that the guest the old man was referring to was her brother Biscuit. However, this meant that the sparrow had summoned its demon wings and was traveling at an extremely fast speed. It did not take long before it arrived at the Pill Island. She did not restrain her aura force. Her half-step void refinement realm aura force had shocked countless cultivators. Many of them were guessing when a half-step void refinement realm expert like her had appeared in the internal sea. The cultivators of the Pill Island were preparing for the opening of the soul cleansing pond. They were afraid that Ming Ke might be their enemy, so they naturally did not dare to let her enter the island. This old man had come forward to dissuade Bright Sparrow from entering the island. Both of them agreed to have a competition. Unless Bright Sparrow wins, she is not allowed to enter the island. Now that Bright Sparrow had won, she could naturally enter the Pill Island whenever she wants. Only after the old man and Bright Sparrow had reached an agreement did he notice that another silver boat was approaching the Pill Island. The person standing on this silver boat was none other than Ning Fan, who was about to borrow the soul washing pond. Brother Biscuit. This old man has already been beaten into submission by me. We can now enter the Biscuit Island whenever we want. Bright Sparrow happily returned to the silver boat and rubbed her small face against Ning Fan's chest. Many cultivators of the Pill Island, including the old man, were surprised. They were so surprised that they forgot to welcome Ning Fan into the island. They were somewhat confused about the situation. That young lady with a golden crown who was clamoring to enter the Pill Island just now was actually Ning Fan's younger sister. In that case, the competition between the old man and Bright Sparrow just now was just a misunderstanding. The old man moved slightly closer to Ning Fan and looked at him. He could feel the chi that Ning Fan was faintly emitting. It was actually not something that he could resist. His eyes immediately widened in surprise. Then, he cupped his fists and said politely. "Are you venerated Ming? Are you venerated Pill?" Ning Fan did not answer the old man's question but asked him a question instead. The corner of his lips curled upwards. He had already seen through the old man's identity. This old man was none other than the island lord of the Pill Island, a sixth revolution pill refinement master who had just returned from traveling around the world, venerated Pill. Chapter 499. The old man was none other than the master of Pill Island, venerated Pill. The elderly man did not find it strange that Ning Fan had seen through his identity. The number of sixth revolution pill refinement masters in Rain World could be counted with one's fingers. After he revealed his sixth revolution medicine soul, it was not strange for them to guess his identity. Even though venerated Pill had just returned from his travels, he had heard of Ning Fan's name in many places in the Rain World. Now that he saw Ning Fan in person, venerated Pill finally felt that seeing him for himself was better than hearing about him 100 times. As a sixth revolution pill master, venerated Dan could be considered as a famous figure in the Rain World. Even though he had yet to break through to the Void Refinement Realm, his status was more respected than many Void Refinement Realm experts in the Rain World. Moreover, because he had traveled around the world, his experience was far greater than that of ordinary people. He could be considered as having seen many Void Refinement Realm experts in the Rain World. However, after sensing Ning Fan's powerful chi, he was still filled with emotions. Among all the Void Refinement Realm experts he knew, there was actually no Void Glimpse stage or Void Inquiry stage old monsters whose chi was stronger than his. When he looked behind Ning Fan again, he saw that Su Yen had already kept the silver boat and the 12-horned dragon. She was standing there like a timid and helpless little bird. This made venerated Pill even more emotional. In the entire Rain World, Su Yen was a Void Inquiry stage expert who had a great reputation. However, she chose to follow Ning Fan. The moment I returned to the Pill Island, I received a rumor saying that the Venerable One suppressed the Mist Horn Devil clan with his own strength. Initially, I didn't believe it. Now, it seems like revered Ming's means are so powerful that I'm afraid you are already unrivaled among Void Inquiry stage experts. This old man admires you. Venerated Pill looked at Bright Sparrow and recalled the previous misunderstanding. Then, he said sincerely. My Taoist title is Dan Songzi, and I am a good friend of Dong Su. After this old man returned, I've already heard Yang Gu and the others talk about your deeds. Fellow Taoist has done the Pill Island a favor and you're also a foreign elder of the Pill Island. If you wish to borrow the soul cleansing pond, I have no objections. I'll do my best to help you. Previously, this old man didn't know that this little girl was fellow Taoist's person, so there was some misunderstanding. I hope fellow Taoist is magnanimous enough to forgive me if I have offended you. As a sixth revolution pill refinement master, venerated Dan was a Void Refinement Realm expert of the Rain World. It was not inappropriate for him to address Ning Fan as fellow Taoist. Senior Dan is too polite. I've seen all the misunderstandings from before. Senior and Bright Sparrow are only having a fair competition, and you should stop when you go too far. Let's drop this matter and not mention it again. The reason why Ning Fan addressed venerated Pill as senior was not only because venerated Pill refinement realm was at the 6th revolution but also because venerated Pill had some friendly relations with the Pill sovereign according to rumors. In terms of the Tao of Pills, venerated Pill's pill refinement mastery and seniority were higher than Ning Fan's. Thus, there was no harm in treating him as a senior. Venerated Pill was taken aback at first. Then, He shook his head and laughed. There's no need for you to address me as your senior. Just like you and Dong Su, you can treat each other as equals. My pill refinement mastery has reached the low-grade 6th revolution and I am ranked 7th in the Rain Immortal world. It is said that your pill refinement mastery is at the peak of the 5th revolution and you are even given the title of the 8th pill refinement master in the Rain Immortal world. This time, you are here to borrow the soul washing pond. You might have a chance to break through to the 6th revolution in one go. You don't have to address me as senior. It is extremely difficult to advance my pill refinement mastery to the 6th revolution. I don't have much confidence in breaking through to the 6th revolution in one go. However, since senior insists on treating me as an equal, I will be so bold as to address senior as fellow Taoist. Fellow Taoist Dan, may I ask if the soul cleansing pond is ready and when can I enter it? The soul cleansing pond has already been unsealed to the 4th level. In another 10 days, it will reach the 6th level. Fellow Taoist will have to wait for at least another 10 days before you can enter the pond. Venerated Pill explained. The 4th level. The 6th level. Ning Fan did not know much about the soul cleansing pond. Thus, he did not know that there were different levels in the pond. Hee. It's my negligence. Fellow Taoist, please take a look at this jade slip. It contains a detailed introduction about the soul cleansing pond. Venerated Pill took out a jade slip and passed it to Ning Fan. Ning Fan scanned the jade slip with his spirit sense and imprinted the information within it into his mind. The soul cleansing pond of the Pill Island possessed a special power that could nourish the medicine soul of a pill refinement master. It was called Soul Bathing Light. The strength of the soul bathing light varied according to the depth of the pond. The Pill Island had set up seals within the pond and divided it into 7 levels. In the 1st level, the soul bathing light was the weakest. It was usually used by peak 4th revolution pill refinement masters to break through to the 5th revolution. The 2nd level could improve the medicine soul of a low-grade 5th revolution pill refinement master. The 3rd, 4th and 5th levels were prepared for mid-grade, high-grade and peak-grade 5th revolution pill refinement masters to temper their medicine soul. If he wanted to break through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm, it would be best for him to enter the 6th level to temper his medicine soul. The 7th level was the deepest part of the soul washing pool. The soul bathing light there was terrifyingly powerful. Normally, only mid-6th revolution pill refinement masters could withstand this level of soul bathing light. Even Venerated Pill himself did not dare to temper his medicine soul on the 7th level. I see. Ning Fan returned the jade slip to Venerated Pill and remained silent for a while. Now that the 4th level of the soul washing pool had been unsealed, a 5th revolution high-grade pill refinement master could enter and cultivate there. However, the 4th level of the soul bathing light did not have much of an effect on his medicine soul. In order to improve the level of his medicine soul with the help of the soul bathing light in the soul washing pond, Ning Fan had to at least enter the 5th level. If he wanted to break through to the 6th revolution in one go, then entering the 6th level was the best choice. Considering that only true 6th revolution pill refinement masters could enter the 6th floor, Ning Fan probably needed to prepare some pills to protect his body before he could enter the 6th floor with his current medicine soul. It seems like I will have to stay on the Pill Island for 10 days. Ning Fan said. Hee. Fellow Taoist is a guest elder of my Pill Island after all. Just relax and stay on the island for 10 days. I will ask Huan Tingzi, Ongu and the others to prepare some pills and spiritual equipment for fellow Taoist to use to protect yourself when you enter the 6th level of the soul washing pond. During the days when fellow Taoist stays on the Pill Island, you can enter any library of the island and read any ancient records of pill recipes at will. If you have a pill recipe that you like, you can just make a copy of it. No one will stop you. Besides that, if fellow Taoist wants to know more about your experience in breaking through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm, you can come and look for me at any time. I certainly won't hide anything from you. Venerated Pill's tone was extremely easygoing. It was as if he had tacitly allowed Ning Fan to do anything on the Pill Island. However, Venerated Pill seemed to have thought of something. His eyes were filled with eagerness. I would like to exchange pointers on my medicine soul combat techniques with fellow Daoist. I wonder if fellow Daoist is willing to do so. Exchange pointers. Ning Fan was slightly surprised. That's right. Fellow Daoist should have seen the soul-transforming dragon technique that I displayed just now. This technique is a battle soul technique that I obtained from the ruins of an ancient cultivator. Now, I have reached a bottleneck in my cultivation of this technique and I need to exchange pointers with someone else in order to break through the bottleneck. I heard that you have learned the Pill Sovereign's battle soul technique. That's why I want to exchange pointers with you. Of course, I won't go overboard. Of course, if fellow Daoist is unwilling to exchange pointers, I won't force you. It doesn't matter. Since this will help fellow Daoist Dan break through the bottleneck of his battle soul, I am willing to exchange pointers with Senior. Please. As soon as Ning Fan said, please, he immediately distanced himself from Venerated Pill. As for the others, they immediately retreated far away. Exchanging pointers with Venerated Pill and helping him break through the bottleneck of his battle soul was almost like giving Venerated Pill a free favor. Ning Fan naturally would not reject it. As for Ning Fan, he also wanted to see how far his medicine soul was from that of a low-grade 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Realm expert. Theoretically, the strength of Ning Fan's medicine soul had already reached the low-grade 6th Revolution. The reason why he had yet to break through to the 6th Revolution was because he lacked a helping hand to do so. On the way to the Pill Island, Ning Fan repeatedly studied the Heavenly Dipper palm imprint that the Pill Sovereign had imparted to him. Gradually, he gained some insights. He even integrated the 108 movements of the Execution Devil palm into the Heavenly Dipper imprint. On the basis of the 36 movements of the Heavenly Dipper imprint, he created 3 movements of the Earth-Killing palm. All of them were borrowed from the Execution Devil palm. Currently, the Medicine Soul palm imprint at Ning Fan Nu had a total of 39 movements. It was 3 more than what the Pill Sovereign had imparted to him. Exchanging pointers with Venerated Pill today was also an opportunity for him to try out his new techniques. As soon as they heard that Ning Fan was going to compete with Venerated Pill in battle soul techniques, the entire Pill Island immediately became lively. Battle soul techniques were techniques that only ancient Pill Refinement Masters knew. Occasionally, some 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Masters would learn them. However, ordinary Pill Refinement Masters might not even get to see it once in their entire lives. Moreover, it was extremely rare to see 2 Pill Refinement Masters competing with each other using battle soul techniques at the same time. Each of the Pill Refinement Masters watched Ning Fan and Venerated Pill who were facing each other from afar. None of them dared to make any noise in case they disturbed the competition. Most of the Pill Refinement Masters thought that the winner of the competition would be Venerated Pill. After all, Venerated Pill was a true low-grade 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master while Ning Fan was just a peak-grade 5th Revolution Pill Refinement Master. Elder Yang, who do you think will win between Venerated Pill and Venerated Ming? Venerated Ming is your master. You should know him very well, right? Do you think he can withstand the battle soul attack of Venerated Pill? Huang Tingzi transmitted his voice to Yang Gu who was beside him. Venerated Pill's Pill Refinement Realm has reached the 6th Revolution. This is a fact that everyone in the Rain world knows. In terms of the level of his medicine soul, he is naturally higher than my master. However, every time my master does something, he always surprises everyone. In the eyes of others, my master might not be able to withstand the battle soul attack of Venerated Pill. However, in my opinion, even if my master withstands the attack of Venerated Pill, it won't be strange at all for him to surpass Venerated Pill. There's nothing strange about him even surpassing Venerated Dan. Yang Gu, on the other hand, was full of confidence in Ning Fan. Oh. Fellow Daoist Yang actually thinks that venerated Ming has a chance of winning? Huang Tingzi shook his head disapprovingly. It was not that he was underestimating Ning Fan. In fact, Huang Tingzi also admired Ning Fan's pill refinement skills very much. He even regarded Ning Fan as the 8th pill refinement master in the Rain world. However, no matter what, it was a fact that Ning Fan had yet to attain the 6th revolution pill refinement realm. Huang Tingzi did not think that a 5th revolution medicine soul could defeat a 6th revolution medicine soul. In his opinion, Ning Fan's cultivation base was indeed astonishing. He could suppress the entire Mist Horn clan and kill Void Inquiry stage cultivators. It was enough for him to dominate the Rain world. In terms of combat strength, Venerated Pill was definitely not Ning Fan's match. However, in terms of the strength of his medicine soul, Ning Fan was probably still weaker than Venerated Pill. Great Elder, do you want to make a bet with me? I'm willing to use a 30,000 years old flying cloud grass to bet that my master won't lose. Yang Gu could not help but shake his head. He had endless confidence in Ning Fan. After all, Ning Fan was his master. However, he was not an idiot. He would not blindly bet on Ning Fan's victory. He would only bet that Ning Fan would not lose. The meaning of not losing also included a draw. Ning Fan's peak grade 5th revolution pill refinement realm might be a little heaven-defying if he could defeat Venerated Pill. However, it was not impossible for him to win in a draw. A 30,000 years old flying cloud grass. All right. I will make a bet with you. If you bet that Venerated Ming will not lose, I will bet that Venerated Pill will definitely win. As for the bet, I will use the rain flower pill that I just concocted as the bet. Huang Tingzi was also quite confident in Venerated Pill. There were more than 30,000 cultivators of the Pill Island on the scene. However, other than Yang Gu, only Su Yan and Ming Ke had confidence in Ning Fan. In the battlefield, Ning Fan and Venerated Pill were facing each other from a distance. Both of them restrained their magic power and activated the power of their medicine souls. Soul Transforming Dragon Technique. Venerated Pill patted the top of his head. His surging medicine soul power turned into a gigantic black dragon, rushing out of his head and soaring into the sky. As soon as the black dragon appeared, it immediately attracted the attention of countless cultivators of the Pill Island. Oh my God! Venerated Pill can actually transform his medicine soul into the form of a dragon to attack his enemies. Is this the battle soul attacking technique of the ancient Pill Masters? It's indeed profound and profound. It's not something that we can imagine. The chi of this black dragon is comparable to that of a Void Glimpse stage old monster. Its attack is comparable to a Void Glimpse stage attack. Venerated Ming's cultivation base is terrifying. However, if he only uses his battle soul technique to receive this attack, he certainly won't be able to withstand a single attack from the black dragon. The discussions in the surroundings quietened down at the moment Ning Fan raised his palm. Each of the old monsters held their breaths, waiting to see how Ning Fan would deal with Venerated Pill's soul transforming dragon technique. After Ning Fan raised his palm, he put it down again. A few moments later, he raised it again and put it down again. In his mind, he repeatedly recalled the essence of the execution devil palm. His understanding of the heavenly dipper palm imprint also increased. The great Tao was different but led to the same destination. Even if the devil martial arts and the battle soul technique were two completely different abilities, there must be some similarities between them. Ning Fan's eyes gradually became clear. He put down his palm for the last time and did not raise it again. He raised his head and stared at the black dragon coldly. A wave of majestic medicine soul aura force suddenly rushed out of his body, turning into a gigantic black palm imprint that hung in the sky. Heavenly Dipper Palm Imprint. Even though this palm imprint is the Pill Sovereign's ultimate technique, it won't be able to defeat me with just a single palm imprint. Venerated Pill's eyes flashed. He had recognized the Heavenly Dipper palm imprint. What I know isn't just a single palm imprint. The 36 Heavenly Dipper imprint. Ning Fan's expression changed. His aura force was like the Big Dipper of the Heavenly Dipper constellation, neutral and peaceful. The power of his medicine soul was like a gushing ocean. It turned into 35 layers of black waves and condensed into 35 layers of gigantic black palms, merging with the previous palm imprint. When the 36 layers of palm imprints merged into one, his aura force skyrocketed. However, it was still slightly weaker than the Black Dragon's. You've actually learned all 36 styles of the Pill Sovereign's Heavenly Dipper imprint. Good. Venerated Pill's eyes flashed with a hint of battle intent. If Ning Fan has learned all of the Heavenly Dipper imprint, he could no longer be underestimated. He must use his full strength to deal with him. Venerated Pill changed his hand seal. The Black Dragon summoned the wind and rain and swept towards Ning Fan with a terrifying aura force. If Ning Fan's palm imprint was only at this level, Venerated Pill's chances of winning would be very high. However, Ning Fan's palm imprint was not that simple. There are still 3 more palm imprints. His eyes suddenly changed. His eyes that were originally like the Big Dipper constellation suddenly turned into a pair of eyes filled with terrifying killing intent. Even his medicine soul was tainted with an extremely heavy killing intent. His originally black medicine soul was now slightly blood red. What Venerated Pill found unbelievable was that Ning Fan had actually added 3 more styles of palm imprints on top of the 36 styles of Heavenly Dipper imprint. He actually knows 39 palm imprints. The last 3 palm imprints don't seem to be the palm imprints that the Pill Sovereign knows. Could it be that this young man created them himself? Just as Venerated Pill's mind was racing, Ning Fan's soul palm imprint had already landed heavily on the Black Dragon, producing a series of loud explosions. Boom 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 39 consecutive explosions resounded. Such a tremendous force shocked countless cultivators of the Pill Island. During the collision, the palm imprints gradually weakened and eventually disappeared. As for the Black Dragon, it could not help but roar furiously. In the end, it was forcefully torn into 2 by the palm imprints. Boom! Another wave of energy fluctuation spread across the area. Ning Fan hurriedly took a few steps back while Venerated Pill also took a few steps back. Unlike Ning Fan's calmness, Venerated Pill's eyes flashed with intense astonishment. It's a draw. Countless cultivators of the Pill Island took a deep breath. All of them wore expressions of disbelief. In terms of the strength of one's medicine soul, Ning Fan was still slightly weaker than Venerated Pill. However, he had perfectly withstood the attack of Venerated Pill's battle soul with his understanding of the battle soul technique. This was just too unbelievable. A 5th Revolution Pill Refinement Master had actually blocked the attack of a 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master's battle soul. If this matter were to spread out, it would definitely be a big news in the Rain world. A draw. Yang Gu looked at Huang Tingzi proudly. He had won this bet. How could this be? Huang Tingzi's face was full of regret, but he could not hide his deep shock. Why didn't he expect this outcome? A terrifying thought rose in Huang Tingzi's mind. Before Ning Fan had truly broken through to the 6th Revolution, his medicine soul was already on par with Venerated Pill. If Ning Fan attains the 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Realm, wouldn't his medicine soul be even stronger than Venerated Pill? If that's the case, as long as Ning Fan attains the 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Realm, he would be able to take over Venerated Pill's ranking and become the 7th Pill Refinement Master of the Rain World. Rain Immortal World. 7th. Thinking of this ranking, Huang Tingzi's breathing became erratic. Even a Pill Sovereign at his age would not be able to possess the 7th or 8th Pill Refinement Realm in the Rain World. Could it be that Ning Fan's innate talent in Pill Refinement is even higher than the Pill Sovereign? Chapter 500. After the battle with Ning Fan, venerated Pill seemed to have gained great enlightenment. After giving some instructions to all the elders, he thanked Ning Fan sincerely and hurriedly returned to the island for seclusion. He was eager to organize his understanding of the battle soul technique. As for Huang Tingzi, Yang Gu, and the other elders of the Pill Island, they followed venerated Pill's order and led Ning Fan's group to rest on the island. There were 17 Pill palaces on the Pill Island. All of them were built on the best spiritual veins. In the past, only the distinguished guests of the Pill Island could stay there. Ning Fan's group was arranged to stay in the Heaven Essence Pill Palace. It was the most famous palace among the 17 palaces. Obviously, Ning Fan was one of the most respected guests of the Pill Island in the past countless years. The Heaven Essence Palace was located at the peak of a mountain range. It was surrounded by clouds and mist. Immortal cranes chirped in the sky. Standing on the peak of the mountain range, one could see the insignificance of the other mountains. Looking at the mountains from the outside of the Heaven Essence Palace, one could see a 10,000 zhang pond surrounded by divine light. The pond was none other than the Pill Island's most famous soul cleansing pond, and the divine light was the famous soul cleansing light. In order to prevent the soul bathing light from spreading, the soul washing pond was sealed all year round. Normally, only the first few floors of the pond were open for the Pill refinement masters on the island to cultivate. The remaining few floors were sealed one by one. At this moment, there were many experts of the Pill Island outside the soul washing pond. They were busy removing the seal on the 5th floor of the pond. Presumably, the 5th floor would be opened in half a day. The divine light surrounding the soul washing pond was slightly black in color. However, there was also a trace of extremely faint purple light. Is that the soul bathing light? Ning Fan stood at the peak of the Heaven Essence Palace and looked down at the soul washing pond. Su Yan, who was standing behind him, smiled and praised him. I didn't expect the battle between you and venerated Pill to end in a draw. It's really unbelievable. Do you think I will lose? Ning Fan asked with a faint smile. No. Of course, I firmly believe that you won't lose. However, I am still a little surprised to see you draw with venerated Pill. After all, the battle of medicine souls can be seen as a contest of Pill refinement techniques. Since you can draw with venerated Pill in terms of medicine soul, I suppose you won't lose to venerated Pill in terms of Pill refinement, right? Yen is really smart. I can't hide anything from you. It is true that the difficulty of concocting a 6th revolution Dan is far greater than a 5th revolution Dan. I have never tried to concoct a 6th revolution Dan, and it is impossible for me to concoct a 6th revolution Dan directly. However, if I concoct a peak 5th revolution pill first and then use the revolution upgrade technique to raise the grade of this pill, I have 30% confidence that I can concoct a low-grade 6th revolution pill. 30%. That's already very high. Other than you, I'm afraid there's no other 5th revolution pill master in the Rain world who has the confidence to concoct a 6th revolution pill. Your title of the 8th Pill Refinement Master of Rain Immortal World is well deserved. If you break through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm, not to mention the 7th, I'm afraid you can even compete for the 6th or 5th position in Rain Immortal World. In the Rain Immortal World, there were only 4 people whose pill refinement mastery had reached the mid-grade 6th revolution. In Su Yan's mind, if Ning Fan attains the 6th revolution pill refinement realm, even those experienced low-grade 6th revolution pill refinement masters would certainly not be a match for him. Ning Fan just smiled and did not answer. Su Yan quietly looked at Ning Fan's back and firmly believed that she was not mistaken. After all, even though his back was obviously skinny, it gave people a sense of security and trust. Brother Biscuit, can I take a stroll around the Biscuit Island on my own? Little Ming K's eyes were filled with pleading. Take a stroll. I'm afraid you want to sneak into the forbidden area of the Pill Island and secretly eat their pills, don't you? Ning Fan exposed Ming Kei's thoughts. Hee hee. Ming Kei playfully stuck out her tongue. She felt rather embarrassed that Ning Fan had seen through her thoughts. There are a total of 42,000 pill refinement masters on the Pill Island. Among them, 34,000 are First Revolution Pill Masters, 7,000 are Second Revolution Pill Masters, 400 are Third Revolution Pill Masters, 74 are Fourth Revolution Pill Masters and 5 are Fifth Revolution Pill Masters. There are quite a lot of pills stored on the Pill Island. Most of them are concocted by the disciples and elders on a daily basis. However, most of them are low-grade pills. Most of them are below the Third Revolution. As for pills above the Fourth Revolution, other than the cultivators on the island who use them for cultivation, most of them are sold to the cultivators of the Endless Sea in exchange for immortal jade or medicinal ingredients. Ning Fan's words gradually made Ming Kei feel dejected. What's the use of having a lot of Third Revolution pills on the island? It was almost impossible for her to improve her cultivation base by consuming them. At the very least, she needed to consume Fifth Revolution pills in order to improve her strength. Even though there were many pill refinement masters on the Pill Island and they could also concoct a lot of finished pills, the high-grade pills would be sold off as soon as they are produced. There was no other way about it. Pill concoction was originally a profession that burned money. It was not hard to imagine how much medicinal ingredients would be consumed and how much money would be burned for 40,000 pill refinement masters to concoct pills every day. Especially those high-grade pill refinement masters who kept trying to concoct pills that were beyond their capabilities. However, 9 out of 10 of them would end up in failure. Hence, the Pill Island needed to sell pills continuously in order to have enough money to support the pill refinement masters on the island. In Ming Kei's imagination, the Pill Island was filled with high-grade pills. However, that was not the case. Even if she empties the storehouse of the Pill Island, she would not be able to find too many Fifth Revolution pills. I thought that after coming to the Biscuit Island, I can eat pill biscuits until I'm full. Ming Kei's small face was filled with disappointment. She no longer had the mood to wander around. There's a place that might be able to let you eat until you're full. Follow me. Ning Fan smiled mysteriously. He did not rest in the primordial heaven palace. Instead, he brought Su Yan and Ming Kei straight to a certain medicinal valley on the Pill Island. It was a small and narrow medicinal valley. It was surrounded by a circle on all 4 sides like a natural treasure bowl. There was only one elder of the Pill Island guarding the medicinal valley. The name of the valley was Waste Pill Valley. As the name suggested, it was used to store useless pills. As long as one was a pill refinement master, there would be times when their pills would turn out to be useless. There was no exception. All the useless pills concocted by the cultivators of the Pill Island would be sent to this medicinal valley and piled up randomly. Every 10 years, the elder who guarded the valley would clean up the useless pills. At this moment, there were still 2 more years before the useless pills would be cleaned up. In other words, all the useless pills concocted by the pill refinement masters of the Pill Island in the past 8 years were piled up in the valley. Ning Fan's purpose of bringing Ming Kei to the Waste Pill Valley was very simple. He just wanted to take away all the Fifth Revolution pills. He wanted to use Ming Kei's ability to purify all the Fifth Revolution pills. Then, she would have enough pills to consume. Breaking through to the Void Refinement Realm was just around the corner. Of course, purifying the useless pills would consume a lot of magic power and time. Hence, it was enough for Ming Kei to purify the Fifth Revolution pills. If she purifies even low-grade useless pills, it would be too much of a waste of time and magic power. Ming Kei was not stupid. When Ning Fan brought her to the Waste Pill Valley, she immediately understood what he wanted to do. She patted her forehead and said embarrassedly, "How could I forget that there is such a method? To me, aren't useless biscuits still edible?" Su Yan still did not know that Ming Kei had the ability to purify the useless pills. Thus, she did not understand why Ning Fan came to the Waste Pill Valley. The elder who guarded the valley was a late Gold Core realm middle-aged cultivator. His name was Wang Cheng. A late Gold Core realm cultivator could be considered as an old ancestor in a low-grade cultivation country. However, he was not worth mentioning on the Pill Island. He only had the right to guard the Waste Pill Valley. Guarding the Waste Pill Valley was an idle job. Besides, there was nothing to be gained from it. Thus, Wang Cheng was happy to have some peace and quiet. The useless pills did not have any edible value. Their only use was to bury them once every 10 years. The weak medicinal qi of the pills could be used to slightly improve the spirit veins of the Pill Island. Therefore, other than the attending disciples who were responsible for transporting the useless pills, very few people would come to the Waste Pill Valley. Wang Cheng was leisurely guarding the pavilion at the entrance of the valley. He was playing a black and white chess piece against himself in a leisurely manner. When Ning Fan and the others arrived at the valley, Wang Cheng did not even raise his head. He just thought that they were attending disciples who were transporting the useless pills. Thus, he complained indifferently. Useless pills. Another batch of useless pills. 3 batches of useless pills have been delivered here this month. Can't you guys be more attentive when you concoct pills? It's shameful to waste pills, understand? As the saying goes, those who recklessly waste God's resources will be spat upon by the heavens. Each of the useless pills here requires the consumption of medicinal ingredients and immortal jade. Wang Cheng grumbled for a while and continued playing his chess piece. At this moment, the voice of a young man suddenly echoed from afar. Well said. Those who recklessly waste God's resources will be spat upon by the heavens. Be it pill concoction or cultivation, everything in the world must be done attentively. You can't neglect it. The young man's voice made Wang Cheng's hand which was about to place his chess piece stiffen in midair. Wang Cheng raised his head in disbelief. When he saw that the person who came was not a attending disciple but Ning Fan's group, he was so scared that he nearly peed his pants. His entire body began to tremble and he immediately went out of the pavilion to welcome them. Revered Ming. Why did you come to my Waste Pill Valley? Please come in. I misspoke. Wang Cheng suddenly realized that inviting Ning Fan into the Waste Pill Valley seemed to be very inappropriate. The Waste Pill Valley was used to store useless people. If he invited Ning Fan into the valley, wouldn't he be secretly calling him a useless person? Of course, Wang Cheng recognized Ning Fan. In other words, how could there be anyone on the Pill Island who did not know Ning Fan? Venerated Pill's order had already been passed down to the entire Pill Island. Not to mention entering the Waste Pill Valley, Ning Fan could even enter the forbidden area of the Pill Island. However, Wang Cheng did not understand why Ning Fan would come to the Waste Pill Valley. Thus, he did not dare to ask about it. He had stayed on the Pill Island for his entire life. Although he had never seen any great events, he had heard too much of Ning Fan's notoriety. Now that he was in close contact with Ning Fan, the #1 devil lord of the Internal Sea, he naturally felt extremely terrified. There's no need to be nervous. The reason why I came to the Waste Pill Valley is just to collect some useless pills for research. I don't have any ill intentions. What's your name? What is your position on the Pill Island? Ning Fan explained. As soon as Wang Cheng heard that Ning Fan did not have any ill intentions, he heaved a sigh of relief and answered respectfully. My name is Wang Cheng. I'm the 3rd-class elder of the Pill Island and I'm in charge of guarding the Waste Pill Valley. I want to collect some useless pills for research. How about this? You go and filter out all the useless pills that are above the 5th revolution and send them to the Primordial Heaven Palace. The faster the better. It's best if you can complete it within a day. What? Filter out all the useless 5th revolution pills. And the faster the better. Within a day. Wang Cheng's jaw dropped in shock. The useless pills in the Waste Pill Valley were not worth a single cent. Ning Fan was a distinguished guest of the Pill Island. It did not matter to him to take whatever he wanted. Of course, he did not have any objections. What made Wang Cheng feel awkward was that Ning Fan wanted him to filter out all the useless Fifth Revolution pills. It was very difficult to determine the grade of the useless pills. Moreover, most of them were charred black and there was not much difference in their appearance. Unless one was a Fifth Revolution pill refinement master with a medicine soul, it would be very difficult to identify the grade of the useless pills. Only God knew that there were tens of millions of useless pills in the Waste Pill Valley. Among them, less than 100,000 were useless pills that were above the Fifth Revolution. Searching for a few hundred Fifth Revolution pills from tens of millions of useless pills was like looking for a needle in a haystack. The difficulty was not small. Even if Wang Cheng was given 10 years, he might not be able to filter out all the Fifth Revolution pills. Let alone within a day. Revered Ming, please forgive me. One day. One day is really not enough. Wang Cheng trembled uncontrollably. He did not know what would happen if he disobeyed Ning Fan's order. Not enough. Could it be that the useless pills in the Waste Pill Valley are not stored according to grade? Ning Fan spread his spirit sense and scanned the Waste Pill Valley. Then, he burst into laughter. The useless pills in the Waste Pill Valley were casually piled up like rubbish. They were not categorized according to grade. It was indeed difficult for Wang Cheng, a mere gold core realm cultivator, to filter out the Fifth Revolution pills. Forget it. Yen accompany Ming Ke to filter out the Fifth Revolution pills. Her nose is very sensitive. She will know where the Fifth Revolution pills are with just a sniff. Ning Fan left Su Yan and Ming Ke in the Waste Pill Valley. With Ming Ke's sense of smell, which was used to search for heavenly ingredients and earthly treasures, it would not be too difficult for her to find the Fifth Revolution pills in the Pill Ocean. Su Yan was confused. Until now, she still could not figure out why Ning Fan would ask for the Fifth Revolution pills. Ming Ke was eager to give it a try. She wanted to immediately find all the Fifth Revolution pills and purify them one by one. As for Wang Cheng, he heaved a sigh of relief. He did not expect Ning Fan to be so easygoing. He actually did not kill Wang Cheng just because he refused his order. Revered Ming doesn't seem to be as ruthless as the rumors say. Speaking of which, why did Revered Ming ask for the Fifth Revolution pills for research? Wang Cheng asked in confusion. After leaving the Waste Pill Valley, Ning Fan went to the libraries on the Pill Island alone to read pill recipes, pill refinement techniques and many other insights. Whenever he saw a Fifth Revolution or Sixth Revolution pill recipe, he would make a copy of it. The elders who were guarding the libraries naturally did not dare to stop him. In just half a day, Ning Fan had visited all the libraries on the Pill Island. Half a day later, Venerated Pill finally came out from his seclusion. He had already absorbed all the insights he had gained from the battle with Ning Fan. I heard that fellow Taoist needs Fifth Revolution pills. May I know why you need Fifth Revolution pills? Venerated Pill had already received the news and asked casually. It's just for research. Knowing one's defeat is the way to obtain victory. Ning Fan answered casually. Of course, he would not tell the truth. I see. Fellow Taoist wants to understand the reason behind the failure of pill refinement from the Fifth Revolution pills to verify your Tao of Pill. Venerated Pill nodded and no longer asked. Then, he raised his head and said with a smile. On my Pill Island, other than the soul-washing pond, there is another treasure. It's the divine chests of an ancient pill master. I wonder if fellow Taoist is interested in meeting it. Would you like to try and see if you can open its seal? Divine chests. Ning Fan was slightly surprised. The so-called divine chests were a storage method unique to the ancient divine clan. They could hide treasures using divine techniques that could isolate them from the heavenly secrets. The treasures would not be destroyed even after thousands of years. Some divine chests contained secret treasures, some contained cultivation methods, some contained pills and some even contained ancient living beings. Could it be that there are actually divine chests left behind by ancient divine cultivators on the Pill Island? Judging from venerated Pill's tone, the divine chests had never been opened before. That you're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.